Ladies and gentlemen, we got a failed cash-in. Add Austin Theory to that small group of failed wrestlers who didn't quite grab the brass ring. And you know what? Some people just don't grab the brass ring. Sometimes they get fired.
Houston, we have a problem.
Yes! What you gonna do? 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 What you gonna do?
Oh yeah. Welcome one, welcome all to another edition, a special episode of the Wrestling Realm Now podcast. Gentlemen, welcome back. We are blessed to see another day, and we are blessed for another opportunity to do what we do best on the Wrestling Realm Now podcast. Conspicuous by his absence, Brother Hugh is out of town. He's enjoying some sun in a very sunny place. I don't think we can disclose where he's at, but trust me, I wish I was there right now. But nonetheless, we are joined by, of course, our good brother, a reoccurring character in the wrestling realm. And I say character because he tries to be the straight face guy, but he indulges in all the shenanigans as soon as he gets in the door. He's laughing already because we've already indulged in shenanigans already, but we're not going to get into that.
I'm gonna just start putting my head down.
No, it's just listen, ladies and gentlemen, the Belt King himself, Brandon the guy is joining us tonight, sitting in for Brother Hugh while we tackle a lot of different things tonight. We got Austin Theory's failed cash in, and tonight, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to tell you exactly the real reason why this is happening. But there's a lot of things that happened tonight. But gentlemen, before we jump into the show, how are you guys doing today? Brian H., how are you? Specifically, Brian H., how are you feeling?
Man, I'm good, man.
Pay attention to our inquisitive faces.
I had a good week. Some bygones be bygones. Y'all can see I'm rocking this good JBoujii shirt and representing Mr. Number 485.
We'll get to that in a second.
I had a Batista rant today that, caused somebody to go way back into my tweets to find out. I was like, hey, somebody said, yeah, I went down Brian H. Waters' rabbit hole. I'm like, okay, but when I had to let the world know Batista wasn't that great. Wow,
Hall of Famer, not that great.
Only two things are okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, sure.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And I got to talk some Sable earlier. That's always good.
Sure. Don't let Brock Lesnar hear you talk about Sable. I don't know how he will respond to that necessarily, but
I respectfully.
Oh, okay.
Respectfully, I'm not about to. I mean, look, I met Brock before, and I will say this: he's one of the few people that I felt like when I shook their hand, they could break it if they wanted to. Him and William Regal.
I heard that about Regal. But,
it's crazy. Like TV don't do justice.
Yeah, you shake a hand with Brock Lesnar. It's not the first time, and I'm almost sure it's not the last
I was saying the last.
I'm almost sure it's not the last time.
Oh man, I tell you,
Brother Brandon, the guy's in the building, the Belt King himself.
Yeah, the Belt King.
How are you doing today, sir? Because guess what, ladies and gentlemen, we've got some surprising news as well. Come on, it's a lot going on tonight. It's gonna be one of those shows. But we're gonna pace ourselves though, because we've got some time, so we're gonna pace ourselves. So, Brother Brandon, how are you, sir? It's nice of you to join us today. Join the brothers. We have our group text and we talk every day, but it's always fun we get this opportunity to get
Shout out to Vaughn.
Oh, well, okay. See, look, it's happening already. There it is.
Already started.
Already.
Only been live for 4 minutes and it begins, and they're off.
There it is.
So I'm doing good. I appreciate the invitation. Anytime I get the call, shift the kingdom around a little bit and say, okay, got my background together. Let's go.
Yeah, man.
So,
there it is, man.
Doing good.
Well, good. We appreciate you joining us. Look at Taquan. What do you say?
Taquan, how you boys doing?
What's going on, brother? We
Taquan showing his face. I'm assuming that's his face. He was like, I'm gonna show you I'm black. Pardon me. I got a good cup of coffee. I'm good.
For the midnight oil.
Yeah. Look,
For
I've been
Bernard-
having.
Go ahead.
I'm saying I've been having Dunkin' Donuts. You know, I got the app. I think I'm over 1,000 points now.
Nope, I'm staying away from it, dude. I can't do it. Dunkin' Donuts is
Look,
deadly to me, man.
Hey, you get the
Definitely.
caramel craze latte, and the weight's still coming down, so I'm good.
No, see, me and Dunkin' Donuts weight's gonna go up because I'm gonna get me a latte. I'm gonna get me a couple of
Mhm.
donuts, most likely a whole box
Yeah,
of Buckskins, and then I'm gonna
I
get a
was
breakfast
like,
sandwich. But I'm getting a breakfast sandwich and I'm getting the fried home fries. Have you ever had their like home fries fresh? I was like,
No,
wait a
well,
minute.
I had the hash
Donuts.
browns.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. I'm sorry, the hash
Yeah.
browns called home fries, bro. I was like, wait, like I had them really fresh one day, and I was like, wait a second, why is nobody talking
Yeah,
about Dunkin' Donuts' hash browns?
They slept on. They are slept on.
Big
You
time,
know?
like the flavors there. I say this is Dunkin' Donuts.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, listen, we could talk about Dunkin' Donuts all day, but we have quite a bit to get into. But gentlemen, before we get into logistics and before we start to get it, matter of fact, let's just start with logistics. Let's just start there. Shall we start? Let's just because we have a I'm looking at the itinerary. We got some things to get into. And for those that don't know, this is a very special reason also. This is perfect timing as to why Brother Brandon is here with us today, because we have a surprise unveiling, something we have been it's been in the works for a long time. I got a fresh early look at it last night via FaceTime, and I'm excited for Brian H to kind of have an opportunity to
Bro, when I tell you I was like knocked out.
Bro,
I'm
he
like,
texted
man.
me. First of all, I was like, oh crap. I was literally on my way to bed. I was watching Obi-Wan, and I was like, dude, everything okay? Like somebody give you a late, like, yo, is anybody up? Anybody got? I was like, let me make sure the brothers go okay. Like, yeah, what's up? Oh, he was okay. He was more than okay. But we'll get to that other logistics. So here we go. Wait for it.
Hold on. Go.
Welcome to the Wrestling Wrelm Now podcast, where we take a deeper dive into the world of professional wrestling. Now, you can watch our flagship show, The Wrestling Wrelm, and other shows such as Wrestling for the Culture, Break It Down, Brian H, and other content anywhere, anytime on youtube.com/The Wrestling Wrelm, where myself, the real Dwayne Allen, Brian H. Waters, and Brother Hugh has the third explore many topics and try to educate and give fans a different perspective on many different topics and things in the world of professional wrestling. I am your host, the realist himself, the real Dwayne Allen. He is your host, Brian H. Waters, and tonight he is also your host, Brandon, the guy. Speaks, like I said, from the accents, Brother Hugh has a third, H to the A to the S, T to the H to the E, 3 to the R to the D. We miss you, brother, but enjoy yourself while you're away. You can follow us on all social media platforms on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, at The Wrestling Wrelm, 2 W's. Like, subscribe, and engage in a conversation with us. You can also stream and download all of our audio content on Anchor, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and Google Podcasts. You can watch us and subscribe to our Twitch channel at The Wrestling Wrelm. Yes, I'm on one tonight. You can shop now.
Okay,
everything wrestling. Trust me, we're gonna get there. You can shop everything Wrestling Wrelm at thewrestlingwrelm.com. Yes, we do have merchandise. So if you want to support, be a part of the brand, head over to wrestlingwrelm.com, where you can get hats. No, you can get t-shirts. You can get crew necks. This is our latest campaign that we've been running for the fall winter 22. Is our new Wrestling Wrelm designs fashioned after the old school Monday Night Raw logo. Gentlemen, I'm looking forward to really getting to our stuff and doing photo shoots and having some fun with that. Wait a minute. Ladies and gentlemen, we got a surprise to the show. He's here.
No, baby, that's for somebody else. This is gonna keep you right where you at right now.
We got a surprise running.
Like, y'all thought I was gonna miss it.
Brother Hugh.
Y'all thought I was gonna miss this?
Yes. We just shouted
I
you
ain't
up, brother.
playing.
We said
Nah.
we thought,
Ain't no way in hell
He
I was
came to
gonna
work.
miss this.
bro.
Came to work.
Listen, now it's a party. Ladies and gentlemen, Brother Hugh has entered the building. Bro, that was perfect.
Yes, sir. Yes,
That
sir.
was crazy. His timing.
Bro, you talking about a
Yes,
surprise.
sir.
It's a surprise running, brother. I didn't know you was joining us tonight.
Hey, I didn't know either, but I
He's
saw
cashing
that belt was about to come out, so I was like,
Bro. Listen,
let me step in
even
here.
when you leave the country, brother, you are just as smooth as you want to be. Look at the shades, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh, come on,
He's
bro.
the coolest
I mean,
person in his
See
location.
the white on a little bit, you know.
Well, all right. Well, god dang, since Brother Hughes in the building, we'll keep on going, ladies and gentlemen. Subscribe to our Patreon. Where was that? Subscribe to our Patreon channel at patreon.com/wrestling_realm, where you can see exclusive wrestling shows such as Brian H's Thoughts. He's also writing again, ladies and gentlemen. Brian H is writing again, and eventually one of these days you will get this. Reynolds Reacts. I don't know in what form, but I'm working on it. We'll figure it out. I promise you, one of these days it'll be worth it. But Reynolds Reacts, where I will have a exclusive show, exclusive to Patreon, where I'll be unhinged, and I can go into depth about quite a few things in the world of professional wrestling. I'm long-winded, so I got my own show to figure it out. But that's patreon.com/wrestling_realm. And I think that's it. Hold on, we like to show this just because. Clickety cloud. There it is. Wait.
Go to our YouTube, hit the subscribe button right now. Drop ratings. Oh, by the way, go on Apple. Hit 5 stars. We need 5 stars to help us rise up the ranks. And on Spotify, go on there, give us some 5 stars too.
You know what, Brian H? You sound like one heck of a producer. I mean, it just
thank you.
Some guys are just talented. Some guys just have it. And you know what? Cream always rises to the top, man.
Yo, Taco is funny as hell, bro.
You just read it.
Oh man,
it's funny because I did just get finished sipping some pina colada, but
I told you had to live your best life, brother. I'm happy to have you there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, man, I'm just happy to be back, man. I missed you.
How many autographs you signed?
Oh, none yet.
Okay.
Did
you take the belt with you?
I was about to say, did you bring the title with you?
I did. The guy at TSA here in Mexico, he was like, "Yo, you got a belt?" I was like, yeah.
I'm in the business, buddy.
And he was like, "So you the champion?" I said, "Yeah." He said, "What does it say?" Just the hoodie on, Brandon, whatever.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
I was just like, "Hey, man, I mean, it is what it is." You know what I'm saying? Like, check me out. Yeah. Back to the main man.
Hey, I just started staring at Brother Hugh. But listen, we're gonna get to that second. But Brian H, you had quite an eventful weekend. But first of all, we'd be remiss if we didn't say congratulations once again to those wrestling girls and their 4-year anniversary. Brian H, you were there in person. Could you give us a little more insight about that? Was on time. About this.
Oh, I forgot this joint be on loop on it because you know it's in 2 different. But
okay.
Yeah. What a time. What a time it was. Congratulations to them. You know, we saw the community out in numbers, and you know, it's always love when you go up there. Yeah, Danny and Janelle reassure me that I'm good when I come into New York. Shout out to Justin who just tuned in. Justin told me earlier on TWG Fan Club. He said, "I will be there tonight at the Wrestling Wrealm Now podcast." Justin is a man of his word. But yeah, it was a great time. You know, check the Instagram for all the photos and stuff. You know, so it was a great, like I said, just a great weekend. You know, the food was cool. The panel, but I tell you, one of the things that was really dope, seeing the Victor Perry, and he brought the wrestling club out. So for those kids to see, and man, let me tell you, like I told him, like, you know, we're gonna take your pictures. They out there and they in full like characters, like they was living their best lives. You got a bunch of 11 and 10, 11, 12-year-olds hanging out on a Saturday night, going to a wrestling event. They was having a good time. So it was good to see them. You know, for them to be able to see what they could also do, you know, to be able to talk to Spice, who's a wrestler, Candace, who's a writer, Janelle, who's a promoter, Krista, who's a host, to see all these different types of jobs in wrestling, that was pretty cool. No,
that's always fun, man. So it's always about building up the future. And you know, it's good that kids have like a legitimate outlet to do these things. I mean, who knows what life would have been like if we had a wrestling club back in our day.
Did you see Grayson Waller?
Yes, that's his class. Yep.
No, yeah, like how he had put the club, and he took Mr. Perry's name, and then he put out a tweet talking about your stupid club and all. It's like it's the full. Obviously, it's in character.
Of
but
course,
he
put him over though. At the end of the day,
put him over. Yeah, it's really good. You know,
class act, man. I like the fact that the wrestling club is kind of going viral. It's such a unique thing that it sounds like something that should have been a long time ago. But it's good to see that someone's using the professional wrestling platform and giving back to his community as far as these kids, man. That's what wrestling's really for in the first place. So
yeah, and if y'all haven't checked it out, make sure y'all go in the Wrestling for the Culture tab on our YouTube channel because we organized the page. And so you go in there, you'll see my interview with Mr. Perry. He talks about the wrestling club, how it got started, and all that. So make sure y'all check out that.
Speaking of your time up top in New York, something else kind of went down this weekend too, brother. Brian, that you had a bit of a heel turn.
Well,
what's that about?
Well, sometimes, man, you gotta let bygones be bygones. And
I mean, it sounds like you worked this all, buddy. Because I was convinced. I was like, man, I hope he doesn't go up here and get in some situation with Boujii. And the whole time, you guys were in cahoots with each other.
Look, when you got somebody that's like, number 485, right? And they doing good things, they working and every day they put in the work and, PWI and they getting their recognition. You just got to go make it happen, and I'm proud of that kid. He's been working hard. We've sat there and spent some time with him after Black Wrestle Fest. And, the thing was his family was there. So, I just kind of wanted to make sure that, his grandmother
was finally smart enough to sip the juice.
His grandmother was.
Is that what he did, Brother Hugh?
And there's a great moment.
Wow, look at that.
Shout out to King Letty for the photo.
Never thought I'd see the day.
Well, you was right there. You saw me trying to make amends, and I was trying, but for whatever reason, Boujii.
He didn't seem like he was buying your apologies. I remember the day. I was like, okay, then we're gonna smooth this over, but I didn't think he was going for it.
Yeah, and I was glad that we was able to, make amends. And we was in the Twitter Spaces yesterday morning, and I told them, look, Boujii's a smart guy, and I really enjoy who he is, and I like his work. And of course, everybody want to know Crocs. I said, look, my job is not to wear the Crocs. I'm just trying to help the brother get the sponsorship. I ain't got to wear them things, but I want him to get the sponsorship. And he's a great guy. After he dumped Takeover.
I'm sorry, you have to wear him.
No. He dumped Takeover. He's on the bigger and better things. Him and Shayla.
No, don't go that way.
he's not letting it fly.
You don't do it. You know what I mean. You don't go in halfway.
I'm not wearing. Look, we're not going into that. See, that's division. We're not doing the conquer and divide.
You don't go into something. You gotta go into it 100%.
No. I'm helping the young kid, and actually, I don't gotta help him. He's doing his thing, and I'm just there support. And
so act like you don't hear what I'm saying.
I know. Look, no offense to Evander James, but I ain't stupid. I mean, he had his whole family there. It was the Bronx. It was hometown, and I said, look, you know what? This is a good opportunity. It's time to make amends. Boom, low blow. Sorry, Evander, this ain't got nothing to do with you, but I'm gonna make sure Boujii get this win. And I got out the way. I took off the Takeover shirt. I threw it, and the people saw me with the JBoujii shirt. And apparently, Grandma was ready to come across the ring. And when she saw me get in and take Boujii off of the opponent, she was ready to fight. That's what I heard. I heard her, and she was like, "I thought I was gonna have to come in there and get you." But she was happy. His mom's was happy. His mother threatened me in Invictus. She said, "You better call the match down the middle."
Wow. So he's ready to get spanked by Gram.
Yeah, that couldn't happen.
No, we don't need that. That's but you know what? It's I'm glad you had such an eventful weekend, man. It's like I said,
an eventful week.
Yeah, it's been heel turns everywhere. Some people just turn heel. It's like they get an itch for it. They just keep on turning and turning and turning.
It don't stop. It don't.
It's like, when does it end? To stop. Like,
what's your end goal?
Where does it end? And
Brother Hugh, you here for the whole show?
No. I'm just waiting for this.
Listen. Let's listen.
I ain't trying to rush y'all.
No. Brother Hugh, there's some things you need that you missed, and you guys need to have a conversation. You guys need to have a
Okay.
conversation.
All right.
Just like you said, we had the conversation. You got there's some stuff that transpired. And I'm like, oh boy, like it happened literally before we got on the show. It was just bombs dropping on us, like bombs over Baghdad, Outcast style. But listen, it was a surprise that Brian H and JBoujii were in cahoots and they made amends. But we're also here tonight for an even bigger surprise, ladies and gentlemen.
I've been waiting for
This
this
is
all
this
day.
is what we've been waiting for. Brandon the guy, aka the guy, the Belt King himself. Brian is just trying to cue up some music, so I'll just keep on rambling. He gets us with these lovely Wrestling Wrealm titles.
Yep.
Right, that
Hey,
I
I wish
carry
I had-
everywhere. My belt is starting to crease because I carry it everywhere. I enjoy it. and we made a charge. No, he's playing Chris Jericho's music. And we made a charge to him. We said, Brandon, you got to design your own, but it's got to be something that's better than what you've done for us. Something's got to be strictly to you. And he said, I'm working on it. And if anybody knows Brother Brandon the guy, he's very particular and he's very calculated in everything that he does. And we were like, dude, are you going to even be able to come up with anything because of how specific you are, right? And he actually pulled it off. And it came in last night. Ladies and gentlemen, tonight he is going to reveal his brand new Wrestling Wrealm exclusive Brandon the Guy Belt King Championship. I've seen it's out of this world. Like, if anybody noticed, did anybody see this? Like, I put it, you see in this corner right here? Like,
It's in there. He gave you a preview.
There was a hint. I want to see if anybody's going to notice.
Oh, see, I did.
You see that?
I peeped it.
See?
And you didn't say nothing?
No, I wanted
Brian,
because
did you
I
say
did peep something because I'm looking at because I know you and I know your favorite
You know.
and I'm looking at it. So I was like, oh, this is gonna be good. So I was like, you know, I want to drink it in, man.
I was surprised you didn't catch it.
Nah, I'm everywhere right now. So
No, listen. If you can't tell about Brother Hugh's background and what he got going right now, we're blessed to have his presence on the show right now.
And he got even cooler shades on this weekend.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
Yeah,
he's got
yeah.
he had in the house shades on. He outside. He got outside shades on.
Yeah.
But Brother Brandon, this is the time. Do we got a drum roll, Brian H? Brandon, drum roll. You ever been drum roll? Hold on, let
So
Brandon
before
see.
the drum roll hits, I'm just let y'all know this is a almost 3-month creation.
Oh,
And I'm gonna start with the center plate so that way everybody can see it when you see the center plate, and then I'll give you the full side to side comparison. Are you ready?
Okay. Yeah. And then we got and we also got photos. But go ahead, ladies and gentlemen. Brother Brandon, the Belt King himself. This is your time
Watch
to
you
unveil
reaction.
your new exclusive
You see that
Wrestling
flash?
Wrealm Championship.
Woo!
Brandon, hit some type of sound effect.
But wait, there's more.
That applause is weak, bro. We gotta get a better applause.
That is
Bro, look at that title. Look at that thing, man.
It's like
There it is. Yeah, let's take the horns on him.
That is a gorgeous.
it's like I want to run up and down the hallway, but I don't want everybody.
Nah, yeah, cause see you
Yeah,
out
I
to
mean-
see you out.
Whoa! Look at the
Yeah,
wings on
yeah.
that thing.
So I was
that
gonna
is-
say, do you
that is
really
an
see it?
angel. That is an angel holding a sword.
Golly, how big is that bad boy?
So you know I'm not a small person. It fits
Yeah,
around
I
my
know.
waist, and
Oh, all right.
it's put it like this. I'll let you borrow it and take it to a show. So the crazy part about this belt, when I say 3 months, of course I had to keep the Wrestling Wrealm logos on there, and I did the history as well. You can tell where it was inspired from.
Mhm.
And of course, the one thing I wanted stacked was the Wrestling Wrealm. And Brian will tell you, every world title has to have a globe. It has to.
Mhm.
Is that
So,
the
of
eagle
course, you
right
can
there?
see the-
too?
It's an angel.
It's an angel. He's got
Oh,
angel
Angel.
wings.
Okay, it got glare.
Of course,
too.
you
Okay.
know. Oh, I'm sorry.
I can't
Is
wait
that
to
better?
see that bad boy in person.
Oh
Can you
my
see? Is
God.
that better?
Yeah, I see.
You got to post that on the gram or something.
But
Yeah,
it
That's
got
got- we
text
need
to it.
pics.
She loved it.
And if you notice a property plate, that
Well
says
said,
Brian.
Roger.
What do you say?
What?
He
So
said,
it
"Remember,
says
Brandon
Crown
isn't
Wrestle-
just the guy; he's the guy."
Proud
Yep.
I
wrestling
appreciate
fan.
that.
You
But
and
I
them
did that
property
as a property.
plates.
You know I gotta have it. But
Yep.
then I had to keep Brian's signature thing. I don't know if you can see this very well.
Baltimore,
my belt
Baltimore bread,
Yeah,
baby.
yeah.
So there you have it. My Wrestling Realm title. It only took me about 3 months to create.
Look at look how it swings over his shoulder.
Right.
Yeah.
That
I gotta
red
keep
really
it.
set
I had
it
to
off.
do red because you know red is my favorite color, and I just
Mhm.
thought, I didn't think that the texture of the center plate with the red and black would
Mhm.
work, but it almost looks like two different belts. If you hold it like this, the traditional way, like
Wow.
the real Dwayne Allen likes to hold it.
Uh-huh.
But then
I'm telling to all promoters watching,
I'm telling you, man. I'm telling you.
Brandon, the guy is the guy that you need to hire to be the guy
You have
to
a
be your
talent.
belt consultant.
You have a talent
So-
for
Yo,
like belt design, man. It's
this
very
thing right
unique
here
pieces.
Oh, there's jewels
Was over
on each.
at the party.
I heard.
I don't know if you can see the jewels on each side too. You
Yep.
see the jewels?
Yeah.
That's it.
And there's
That's
only
it.
one jewel on the center plate, and it's at the very top. One red one. So I didn't think I was gonna go overboard with red, but I think the colors blend very well.
No, I think they do. They definitely do, man. It's such a beautiful belt, man. It's just
It's
we're
you.
belt. Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. We're belt guys, but we do have a few photos. And as I put these photos up, Brandon, can you just start to give people your inspiration behind why you designed it the way you designed it?
Yeah, so if you notice immediately, the two that says about the 10 years and the noun are stylized based upon the Ring of Honor belts that before Tony Khan changed them back to the silver ones. So that's where that inspiration came from. The center plate is a combination of different belts that I like, the floor panel around where the jewel is, and then of course the globe has to be there. And like I said, with the angel with the sword, it's just about strength and being able to defend, knowing the difference in good and evil. Because sometimes we all struggle with that, but I wanted to make sure that was a prominent thing. But I wanted the wings to span beyond the globe to kind of like embrace the world, and then in turn embrace the wrestling realm too. Then if you look at the next side plates, I wanted to do a contrast with the white to show the original for the original wrestling realm. And then on the other side plate, you'll see it's another white one to just balance out the red. So that way everything just pops on this belt. I wanted to make sure that when you looked at it, it told the story of, okay, what's different here versus everybody else's belt. So of course the Maryland flag on the belt tip, because I think all belts have a tip, but that can be debated. And Brian laughed about my property plate because I do like a property plate on them, like the J-Mar belts, those style, even the NWA belts. I always thought that one little extra nugget on it just made it seem like it's more prestigious. So even with a red strap, you could say it's a world title, or you can say it's a mid card. You can look at it and you're gonna know what the wrestling realm is.
That is a world championship.
That is definitely a world championship.
So,
You definitely outdid yourself, man. Like I said,
Dude, do I get your approval?
Yeah, man, absolutely. I already knew you was gonna kill it. I couldn't miss this opportunity.
Yeah, exactly.
Shut
now
up.
we
I know how you feel sitting there.
it's I'm telling you, man, it's crazy because here's the crazy part. Out of all the belts that brother Brandon has, that's the one I've seen you like really cradle the most. Like you, I've seen you hold lots of titles, but like you're like that's yours. You can tell, and that's a good feeling. You know why?
And this is the first custom belt that I have.
And
that'll probably be the only
crazy
one.
to think about though. See, now you got an itch.
Yeah.
So it's like now, like this is how I feel the same way. This is right the time of the show I start doing this. I just start randomly, just like remember this how Adam Cole used to hold his belt when he thought Kevin Owens was going to like beat him for it. He used to like walk around like hold it like this.
Yep.
Back in 2014, man. But you definitely outdid yourself on that one, brother.
Hey, the casual wrestlers, shout out to them. I was on their show. They talking about belts. I said these are the guys right here. Like when it comes to the belt tournament that y'all want to do, those are the guys. The real Dwayne Allen, brother Brandon. They the people. I'm like, as soon as a belt is dropped, they the first to, like, we hit the chat when the new belt is designed. All right, thoughts or the commemorative editions, or the signature series. When those belts come out, as soon as I see it, them. All right, what y'all think?
Right, no doubt. No, man,
it does have a curve. Oh, that's the other. I forgot to say it does have a
look
nice
at that
curve
thing.
on it.
Look at it. That's
I
that's.
don't know if you can see how it's stacked.
We knew that. We knew he was gonna have a curve.
You knew that was coming. Oh yeah,
that thing's a beauty though.
So
It is. Oh my
Yeah,
God.
I can't wait for Brian to see it in person. He's gonna be like, yo.
Well,
I'm
sir,
sitting here
Definitely got
thinking
some weight
like,
to it, though.
I'm sitting here thinking like, man, I'm about to get Brandon. I'm about to pay Brandon to like get all y'all belts. I want the collection, the whole realm collection.
I know,
You
man.
went all
It's
up.
like
You went all
it's
up.
like we really could like start a promotion with all our titles.
Yeah, y'all got to sign them. But yeah, like this is Hugh's belt, this is Brandon's belt, Dwayne's belt, all the belts. They could just rotate.
That's actually not a freaking bad idea, bro.
Right.
This is why they put you in the positions that they put you in, Brad Dates, because you just come up with all the great ideas.
He just keeps elevating things.
He just keeps
he gets
raising
it, and then
up.
it's like, oh,
He just
that's
keeps-
actually a good idea.
He just keeps rising above. Just anyways. But like I said, brother Hugh, stick around for as long as you can, brother. But by all means, if we need to drop out, get back to you to whatever you got going on, man. You living it up, man. I'm happy for you. Enjoy the festivities.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I'm about to dip out in a moment.
Okay, but listen.
A couple more minutes.
You said he was only here for the belt.
Nah, listen.
That's a good reason to come to work.
It's your show, man. So you listen. You do whatever you got to do, as you know, as we always carry. But we'll get ready to jump into the show now. Like I said, man, we have a lot to get into tonight. We have a lot to talk about. We're gonna the fallout from Crown Jewel, obviously. We got an investigation that's kind of coming to a close. Brothers, can you believe it? We finally got down to the nitty-gritty. Even if they stole our idea, we can acknowledge some things. We got a surprise return back to
real
WWE.
quick, I got to do
Yes,
it.
sir.
Now I got to redo this my phone screensaver.
Also, look, you got to read it. Yeah, go back to the
That's
crib
what-
and just take another one.
Yeah, we got to
Apparently I
link
gotta
up
meet
again.
But
My bad. I just saw it. I was like, oh, I got yeah.
Nah, listen, you got to keep ideas fresh. You know what? And because you keep ideas fresh is why they need to come up with fresh new concepts and new ideas. Brother, he's gonna know exactly what we keep referring to. He's probably like, "What are you talking about?" But trust me, you will know, brother. You
Hey,
will
brother,
know.
what
soon
time you
enough.
going to sleep tonight?
He's not.
Right.
What is that?
Right.
He said, "I'm good. I can sleep when I
be,
get home."
He's gonna be burning the midnight for a different reason tonight.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What time is it there, brother Hugh?
It's 11:30.
Oh, okay. So
Oh,
we still,
okay.
we
Oh,
still, yeah,
We still together. We still good.
yeah, we still what you call it, just nature it up. But
Speaking of
but
nature,
yeah,
I'm watching the first babyface turn I can remember as a child. Mr. Perfect when he turned babyface and joined with Macho Man to go against Razor Ramon and Ric Flair Survivor Series.
Yeah.
This is the first Survivor Series my parents ordered. Actually, first pay-per-view. First pay-per-view they ordered.
well, it seems
Survivor
kind of
Series
interesting that
92.
we're kind of almost upon Survivor Series, so it's actually a pretty good time to be
That's
watching.
actually
it.
pretty crazy. That it's
Are
happening.
you usually on a Survivor Series kick around this time of year because of that? I know that can be sometimes
Absolutely.
sentimental. Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
And you know,
Yeah.
Brian is a sentimental wrestling fan, so like a lot of those he has a lot of these triggers that are like sentimental attachments. So it's like
I talked to Troy today, and
Oh, really?
I had to call him,
Sure.
and I was just like, saying, man, look, man, thank you for everything, and you responsible for all this, and grooming me in the wrestling. And he goes, and who would have thought you would have took it this far?
I
And
know,
was like,
right? Who would have thought you would have taken it this far? Who would just
Who would have thought you would be at this level at this
Just-
point in your life?
just like
Oh,
Kirk
man.
Franklin said, if you think Gospel Music has gone too far, you haven't heard nothing yet. And if you don't know, now you know. Glory, glory. look, Brian H. Taking pictures. Okay,
God
listen,
is good. That's all I say.
listen, man. We caption all moments. You know why? Because favor isn't fair, but it's right. So
Mhm.
yeah, I just preached the sermon. Y'all can pass the collection plate.
It is.
Mister, I ain't no preacher.
Listen to me. I preach every day. I lie to myself. I preach every goddamn day.
Mhm.
Listen, let the word go forth and let us all be blessed. Amen. Amen.
Amen.
Amen.
All right.
Hallelujah.
Listen, we're gonna start the show off kind of slow, but there's something we got to address. Jeff Jarrett and there it is. Bang. That's how you know it's ready to go. Jeff Jarrett and AEW.
Mhm.
Gentlemen,
Mhm.
Jeff Jarrett is historically one of the most polarizing wrestling figures. He has such a rich family history when it comes to this business. He's been
What's
well
up?
traveled, and most recently he's had a bit of a whirlwind of career moves. Brian, you can probably relate.
Go ahead.
But he got hired in one position for the WWE, and then there was a regime change as Triple H kind of made his way in, and he I guess was fired or released from his position, only to find himself now in AEW as a director of something, but also as from what I'm hearing, I could be wrong, on air talent. But gentlemen, how do you guys feel about Jeff Jarrett kind of taking his talents to AEW? Okay, okay. Brian's not impressed. How about you, brother Brandon? See, let me ask Brandon, because Brandon, you were a TNA guy at one point.
Yeah,
you could appreciate Jeff Jarrett. See, Brian, I feel like you a Jeff Jarrett guy, and maybe what, early '90s WCW, and then maybe Attitude Era.
The craziest thing is I spent so much time not liking Jeff Jarrett, and then as a human being, like he actually like followed back on Twitter after he was on our show and all this stuff, and he's like a nice person, but. Kind of like when Shawn Michaels found Jesus and you had no choice but to like him because you're saved too. Yeah, and he's a great guy. But I can appreciate now that I understand wrestling more, because like he did his job so well, because I wasn't supposed to like him ever, because he's always a heel from what I remember. And then like his TNA stuff, what I can really appreciate is him building other stars, and with Brandon. When in the early days, like before, the Wrestling Wrealm days, Brandon would always say, "Yo, come sit down and watch this Jeff Jarrett match with Jeff Jarrett, AJ Styles, him and Christian, and so forth." So, but now it's like him and AEW. If they can't, if he can't, that's too much pressure to say, because it's so much. I'm just interested to see how this is going to work. You know what I mean? I'm interested to see how this is going to work.
That's fair, brother Brandon. You've had a lot of history with the King of the Mountain. What do you think about Jeff Jarrett and AEW? Good idea, bad idea?
On paper, you have Jeff Jarrett and William Regal in the same company. There is no reason that you're never going to overtake WWE as the number one wrestling company, but they can be defined as the number two, because both of these men, and Jeff Jarrett could be that extra off, because like Brian said, back when Jeff Jarrett was the number one heel in TNA, it was like almost like must watch. I'm thinking back to the Wednesday night pay-per-views and the $10. You didn't mind spending the $10 on the paper. I think it was like $9.95 or something. You didn't mind spending that to see those, but then when they got their TV deals, when they started to see a thing, you knew Jeff Jarrett was not necessarily the face of the company, but he was the, oh God, here we go. But now you appreciate it looking back. But just look what he did. Look what he did not only for TNA, he almost had Global Force in the limelight. Who knows what may have happened, and I'll say it again, if Tony Khan just says, hey, run this company for me, similar to what you did in TNA, because if you look at it, they almost have a similar structure where they took these indie darlings and brought them to a public face and said, look what this person can do that's been a workhorse on the indie scene, and we have some established stars. Look what we can do. Let me showcase. Let me broadcast. Let me show you why you need to care about an AJ Styles. Let me show you why you need to care about a Petey Williams, a Chris Sabin, a Samoa Joe, as you went down the line, Christopher Daniels. All these guys became household names and synonymous with TNA because Jeff Jarrett had a formula to make you care about them. At the same time, giving R-Truth, Ron Killings, and
Ron the Truth Killings,
giving him a world title, Rhino. Even though it was a fail, and he has some fails attempt. Who doesn't? Because one of the biggest fail attempt was your boys, what were they, Voodoo Kid Mafia or something, when they were trying to find themselves after WWE, but it was like, okay, we didn't care about that. Let's look at these other tag teams. If he keeps that same formula, because you have almost the same thing, you can recreate magic and bring that spark back to AEW that would say, this is must watch. This is what I need to see, not just let me turn it on and see what they're doing this week. It's let me go find out what they're doing. Let me go watch more of this.
Sure. No, I mean, I'm a huge Jeff Jarrett fan now. It's like you said, brother Brandon. I appreciate what he has done that much more now. Maybe not in the moment, you know what I mean. But it's like when you look at what he's a notable name. He brings notoriety, and he's gonna help elevate AEW. Maybe not to new heights, but anytime you get an established name in pro wrestling like that, man, it's always a positive. And he has a lot to offer to the show. Like you said, he has a lot of experience in running a new company. I don't think Tony Khan's going to listen, and neither is a lot of the young talent, because the difference between AEW now and TNA back then is that they at least, when TNA had started, the structure was still veteran based, right? they had the NWA Championship Committee. They had Dusty Rhodes. They had Ricky Steamboat. They had Larry Zbyszko. They had Shane Douglas. They had those guys like working like they were the foundation behind the scene. They had Ravens. They had they had the
D'Lo
Jeff
Brown
Jarrett.
and Ken Shamrock.
That's what I'm saying. So it's like the foundation of what it was more of a veteran base. Even though they highlighted young talent, that was your foundation backstage. You know what I mean? Versus AEW's is like this wild west of young talent. There's no structure and tradition to their locker room and their whole backstage culture, which can be positive in one aspects, but as you can see, it's also played off to be negative. But I'm more excited about the fact that maybe we can get a modern day Jeff Jarrett action figure from AEW. That's really more what I'm concerned about.
But see, I don't want to on-screen Jeff Jarrett because
But that's what they're saying. Like, it's Ric Flair took credit for it, brother Brandon. He said, "Well, Jeff Jarrett's got his buzz because they kept saying how good he looked in his last match stuff." They said, "Man, Jeff Jarrett looked like he could still, contribute to somebody." Yeah, you know what I mean. It's like,
But I think we have enough of Jeff Jarrett that a special occasion we can see him. Like, I don't need to see him on weekly TV. I need to see that special match at Full Gear, that special match at
no doubt.
All In. You know what I mean? Like, I want that. I don't want to overuse him. And it's like, okay, I see Jeff Jarrett, but where is Darby Allin? Where's Brian Cage this week? Where's these AEW guys? But you keep giving me Jeff, and I need him for that special match.
But old habits die hard, brother Brandon. These guys are not going to pass up opportunities to be in spotlight, to have one last run, one last feud, and him hitting Darby Allin over the head, man, is a chance for him to kind of stay relevant and work with young talent. But we've talked quite a bit about Jeff Jarrett, but AEW, only time will tell. I'm looking at it from a more positive perspective, but I think you brothers have excellent points. Brother Hugh, you want to chime in? I know you kind of enjoying the festivities right now. Do you feel any type of way about Jeff Jarrett being AEW?
Nah, man, I like the move.
Okay.
For all of the reasons y'all stated, I feel like he brings that stability that AEW should do, that they need right now, especially
big time.
Backstage. Limit his roles on TV. Just
keep it special.
Just have him work in the back.
Yeah.
Word is like Jericho, he's doing more stuff in the back now too. That's why that was actually part of his contract.
Yeah, I think it's transitioning soon.
Yeah,
50,
so
51, 53,
him, Moxley, Daniel Bryan, they're all stepping up and they all, making moves in the back now. So it's like that's great. They added some sort of structure, bringing some sort of tradition to the locker room now. So hey, I like it. It's a good move.
No, I think it's a good move at the end of the day. And of course, as the wrestling realm, we look at things from a different perspective. It's not just about what we like, what we don't like. We always try to provide a different outlook on a bigger picture of everything. So, but yeah, Jeff Jarrett and AEW. But we're going to move on, gentlemen. The fallout from Crown Jewel. We're not going to sit here and review the show because it's quite a bit to get into. But we could just get everybody's opinion on what they thought about Crown Jewel. I'll say this: I had a good time watching Crown Jewel. This is probably one of the, I don't want to say it's the first one, but when I can watch a wrestling show at this age, just enjoy myself, I like from start to finish. To me, it's done its job. You know what I mean? Politics and all that stuff aside, man, I really enjoyed Crown Jewel for what it was. Not for anything outside of that, but
that's why her heart rate is so high.
There's a few things we can kind of grit into, so we got special guests on the show. We favorite matches, it was a good show and stuff like that. But overall, I thought it was a good show. But Brian H., what was your thoughts overall of Crown Jewel? Did you enjoy yourself watching Crown Jewel? Were there any highs, any lows? What was your 2 cents on Crown Jewel as a whole?
Man, I enjoyed it.
My bad. I'm gonna get ready to sign off real quick.
Bro, you good, brother? You's on vacation, bro. I'm enjoying the vacation with you. It's like a live vlog right now.
Yeah, we getting like B-roll. I mean, background music and stuff.
I feel like I'm there too, bro.
How loud it was, but I was just like,
bro, we are, bro. They don't like it, they can tune off. I don't care. I got a
problem.
Brother
Hugh, we'll be talking to you soon, brother Hugh.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. All right, brother Hugh, we'll be talking to you soon.
HASTHG 3RD. We signing off, baby.
Yes, sir. We appreciate you, brother. That was the best surprise we've had outside of Brandon's belts. So appreciate
Thanks
you, brother.
For bringing us on vacation with you.
Yes, sir.
But Crown Jewel, I enjoyed it. I was sitting there thinking today, I was like, man, like Roman is like moving up on my list of favorites,
bro. Isn't it crazy?
Right, and you know, I would have been ridiculed if I'd have said this in 2013 when you said the Shield will be one of the most impactful factions. If I said, "Oh yeah, Roman my favorite," you'd be like, "Really?"
Ooh, it's all about Seth.
Yeah, but yeah, you called it. Make sure everybody knows that you called that.
I never give credit for anything.
I'll always give you credit on that one because I remember that day in 2014 and the whole Realm group, which y'all can join on Facebook for free, was going off like, the real Dwayne Allen said it. He said it. He said it. I remember calling you as soon as it happened. That he was like, here it go, the butt kissing.
Yeah.
You know, I don't forget nothing.
No, you don't. You have a good memory.
Curse.
There's a lot of things that I forget from those years, but then as soon as you said it, I'm like, I'm right back there in 2013. But
yeah, but you know, it was. I thought Crown Jewel was great. Like you said, like Roman Reigns just going out there, and you said it. They was gonna do that one lucky punch story. I enjoyed the match, and that's the thing. Like with Roman, you getting some great storytelling, but you're also getting fun matches to watch because he's taking you for a ride. Like I had earlier, him versus Jey Uso, the first one at Night of Champions. That you know, how you put wrestling on YouTube and then it just goes and plays with something else. And so I was just watching that match. I'm like, this is early, but it felt like when he came back, he had figured it out. And now he's just been on another level. And that's why I say he's like rising up the ranks and, you know, amongst my favorites. And it's fun to watch. Like he's clearly like my favorite right now in the business. And, you know, so I enjoyed that. And I really enjoyed Brock and Bobby. Yeah, like I think they are the stories that they was telling. Like, man, it's you're seeing Bobby go to a new level. You know, Brock is Brock. You seeing Bobby like now. Bobby is Bobby, top guy, right? But you see him go to another level, and that's what's making everything fun to watch. So I enjoy Crown Jewel. A great way to start the show and a great way to end the show.
Brother Brandon, your takes on Crown Jewel. Did you enjoy it? Was it a good show for you?
It was a good show. It's exactly what I thought it was going to be. One of those. It's a Saudi show.
There you go. It's a showcase event.
And some things I think took away from because the match I enjoyed the most, I couldn't get really invested because they had already advertised that the New Day and the Usos will be wrestling on Friday. So even if as good as Pete Dunne and Ridge Holland did, it was a good match. I was sucked in because the Uso has this way of making you feel their match in a different way than Roman feels. It has a different. It's like
it does though. That's crazy you mentioned that. That's a very great observation.
But because I knew there's no way they're going to lose this to fight, and they already advertising the New Day and them for their 400 something odd day reign. Forgive me, I don't know the numbers. It felt like it took away from it because as good as that match was, I already knew the outcome. Even when it was the last minute, and it's like even when I think it was Jay was down, and it was almost like you almost thought like, oh shoot, they about to lose. Never mind, they didn't. It just feels you into it. And even when they did the 1D off the top rope, I was like, oh, yep, there's the finisher. But you can see them setting up for it. Even when Butch did that one little thing, like, you ain't going to super kick me this time. And he faked him out. It was like, it was a lot of callbacks. And every New Day match, it's not this, it just feels like it's like it draws you in. So that was probably the most enjoyable match. I think that the other tag match, it was too distracting because I felt like it was just, and I'm going to probably get ridiculed or somebody's going to say something. It was too many colors. Their outfits was so much in the women's match. I couldn't focus on them. It kind of was like not pleasing to their eye. Not saying they should be, but it was like, oh my God, like what's happening here? Like I just felt like I was like, whoa. It's just it was too much.
I feel the opposite. That's the crazy part. You mentioned that. It's funny you mentioned that because I remember I saw the outfits and they were like they were dressed in like motorcycle biker suits, and I was like, well, this is the first time they've actually like got like actual full body designs because usually they would just wear like a t-shirt over their gear or like the long sleeve shirts.
This is the second one. The first time they did do the t-shirt, but they were a little. I don't want to say a little less. They didn't have as much personality in this one. You get what I'm saying? Like in this, you could tell that was Oscar's ring.
No,
gear.
They made their own adaptations of who they were. Like to hey, let's No, but
I'm okay. I'm okay with the culture, but it was just I felt like that. You know how sometimes like one kind of part of the match just distracts you from everything, or you just think about. All I kept thinking about with Bayley and Bianca's match was she really just sat down in between the steps and she let her put the ladder over top of her. I felt like that was the down point in the match. Like, come on, y'all can do better spots than this. Y'all are better. Y'all are two of the best wrestlers on the planet.
Right.
You know, and this is what you come like. That spot just felt a little weird. So I felt the same way. As much as I wanted that tag match to be boom, 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 like the male tag, it was like it just felt weird. It was like I couldn't get into it. But I don't know. It's just hard for me to digest it. But other than that, it was a good. I will have to say, when you don't expect it, like Brian says, when you don't expect it, that's when they deliver. And that finisher, all I'm gonna say is the buckshot lariat made me sit up. I said, did he just do it? Wait a minute. I know I didn't just see that.
No, he did it. That's
I said he did it. I was like, and it was clean.
And that was that's actually a great transition because to what we were speaking about. But I was going to say, you know, the next thing I was going to kind of highlight was how about Logan Paul's performance? Like,
well, let me say this about Logan.
Dude carried the showcase main event in his third match, and I'm just like, dude, you don't. When you look at him, he's supposed to be a celebrity like guy, like, you know what I mean? Like, he's supposed to just be like a celebrity showcase match, but like this celebrity put on a classic match.
He looked like a wrestler. He came down like a wrestler, and he performed like a. The thing that's crazy, and I kept saying is watch the match. So Brian's gonna remember this callback. Watching the Young Bucks, and we're like, why won't they just mess up? Why they so good? Like, you get mad because you're like, he's so good. Like, I thought Bad Bunny was a good celebrity, but it's like he said Bad Bunny was here. Logan Paul said, I gotta go here, and just everything. This man took the phone and recorded himself doing a frog splash. Like, it's like he's saying, I can do this and then do more.
And the crazy part is that's his character. Like, he's kind of like a new version of the Miz. So like Miz is like the movie star, right? Mm-hmm. Like Logan Paul's like, hey, I'm the proud social media guy. And like that's his gimmick, that's his character. And he's like, look, I know I'm coming from an outside world, and I know I'm coming to a different world, but I'm passionate about with this. And he performs, dude. Like, he goes out there and like he's not out there like Snoop Dogg will come out there and do a spear and do a couple of punches, like, no, don't touch me.
Yeah.
But exactly. guys like him and Shaq, like they jump in. Like, Shaq is older, so you know he did his spot with Cody Rhodes and AEW, and he like tore his labrum or something crazy like that. But and I believe Logan Paul got hurt in this match too. But he had a full-fledged like wrestling match, and it's like when you look at first of all, that's his third match. First, like, who does that?
Third match.
And when you look at like Roman Reigns' history, he was able to work with this dude, and I was like, I think Roman has gone to a whole nother level. He's on like Ric Flair level, and I'm saying
you said that last week.
Ric Flair was so great is because he knew how to make money. How do you know how to make money? He would make whoever he was working with, he would bring them up to his level.
Yep.
And that's what made fans be like, yo, I got almost beat Ric Flair. And Ric Flair,
remember, he said it. I'm sick of putting up my opponents and putting them over because all I do is smash them. When he said that, I said, well, I ain't lying, because every opponent he's had in these last 2 years, they felt like they were a threat to his championship. Well, his championships. But it felt like now it's like, and he said, I ain't going to do it with Logan Paul. Like, he was angry. He was mad. And like I said, he went into it like he was going to tell us a story. And I think that that dance partner he had in Logan Paul, imagine seeing that on a WrestleMania scale. Next year.
And that's kind of like the blueprint. That's why they kind of figure these things out, like you said, because in these showcase events, they kind of structure it like a Mania, right? And the fact that he was able to do that, it's like, man, and Roman, he's so freaking unbelievable at this point. It's because it's like all the things that we accused him of not being able to do, he's doing them now at the highest of levels. You know what I mean? It's just like, and I'll give you an example. And like I said, this is what we do in the wrestling realm. Like, and I know you brothers can relate because we pay attention as older fans. We just enjoy more than a match. We pay attention to the details of the storytelling. Roman Reigns at the end of the match, right? He was celebrating. He was but he kept going like this, like he kept checking his jaw and looking at Logan Paul, like dude,
I saw that,
and I'm like, this dude is still putting him over at the end of the match.
Yep.
And it's like, dude, that's how you make money when your top guy finds a way to elevate your opponent and says, man, like, yeah, I won and I'm confident, but I'm like, I'm hurting right now.
I'm not the same. I'm not the same as when I came. Like, dang, I let this guy. He did.
And there was no shame in Logan Paul losing because he wasn't supposed to win in the first place.
That's what he kept saying too.
He's like, dude, I have nothing to lose at the end of the match. And this is how calculated they are with their storytelling, with cameras and stuff. As we we had to move on. He sees his brother. He goes, man, I'm sorry, man. I tried. I love you. Like his brother's like, man, don't worry about it, man. And I'm like, dude. So now you gonna give us a family moment where he's like, his sister looked at the brother and goes like, man, I tried, dude. And he was like, I love you. I appreciate you. And I was like, man, they took Jake Paul from being a heel and turned him face because he was kind of like remember around Mania City, he was kind of like oh yeah, my brother's going. He was kind of arrogant, kind of like he's
going to beat him. He's doing this.
Yeah, my brother. And he kind of got booed a little bit, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, man, he comes out to his own music. Like, they grew another superstar. Saves the day.
Tag team match.
There you go. Like the Paul brothers is like can make money in WWE. And after the match, they kind of shared this moment. He was like, man, I'm proud of you, man. Don't worry about it. And I was like, dang. So they gave us a family moment. Roman's still selling. And I think that's the aspect of storytelling that people don't pay attention to, but those subtle nuances make a difference because, like I said, even after the match is over with, Roman and the bloodline going up the ramp is just like, man, I just been through a war. He's not walking like, I'm fine. I just beat Logan Paul, social media guy. It's like, dude, no, we know you went into the situation winning.
Mm-hmm.
And because you're the tribal truth, we recognize that and we acknowledge that. We acknowledge you, but we also recognize that this dude took a chunk out of you.
But remember, he had his boys, and Roman had his boys. Logan Paul had his boys. Logan came prepared. That's another layer of the story that I thought was kind of cool. That okay, look,
it was a family affair.
His boy, yep. And then Solo and standing tall, looking at each other like, oh, yep, I got an answer for every person in the bloodline. I got an answer for it, so I can keep wrestling this match.
No, it was amazing, man. I think Crown Jewel did his job, man. I had fun. I was I'll say this before we move on. I was thoroughly happy with the Drew McIntyre Karrion Kross match. You guys, I'm pushing for Karrion Kross. That's my guy. That match was way better than the strap match they had.
Yeah,
I was waiting for Karrion Kross just to bring it, and I was like, okay, he's coming out of his shell, and I think he needs Drew McIntyre desperately because Karrion Kross is still relatively a fresh face to this main event scene. But he is a walking main event waiting to happen, but he still needs some grooming. So I'm loving this feud he's having with Drew, and I'm hoping he can continue to elevate and learn and grow. So it'll be his turn to come to that space. But that was one of the other matches that I was looking to see. Like, let me see, because the first match kind of fell flat for me personally. I was like, I'm disappointed, Cross, because this is what Adam Cole was talking about. Yeah, that's what Adam Cole was talking about. He burned you up like that time he destroyed you at NXT. And I'm like,
they make me feel special. They ring the bell.
It was his first match. He tore Adam Cole. Adam Cole tore him a new one.
He's never gonna live that
he
down.
Had the mic like this. Remember, he knew it was serious when he was holding the mic.
I'm telling you, I saw Shawn Michaels that night. I said, Shawn Michaels got his bag, like, bro, like you got to tear him up on the mic. You got to tear him up on the mic in this deep Shawn Michaels voice.
What do you want to tell him?
If that's what you think, you got to say it. But yeah, like I said, we could talk about Crown Jewel forever, but we got a lot of things to get in. Some things we got to wrap up. We're already close to burning midnight oil as it is. But Bray Wyatt brothers.
Mm-hmm.
I finally figured some things out, and we're not going to dig into this like super heavy, but we're gonna hit on it briefly before we move on. Bray freaking Wyatt. He came. First of all, let me ask you this: you guys heard his whole shtick, his whole promo, right?
Mm-hmm.
Did you hear the first two lines?
I did. And
that's what struck me the most.
I was intrigued by that. And I finally realized what's going on with Bray Wyatt. Do you guys know what's going on with Bray Wyatt? Do you guys have an idea what's going on with Bray Wyatt? Look, Brian is just like, no, he's done. He just threw back.
I'm enjoying
coffee.
I'm a Bray fan. I'm just enjoying
I didn't go back and watch it. Yeah.
Listen to me.
With that first line, all I kept thinking about was, you rule my kingdom. I give it all away. I was like, did you just reference Cody?
He definitely did. I finally figured out what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm gonna tell you how good Bray Wyatt is. So Bray Wyatt comes out the Crown Jewel, ladies and gentlemen, as you saw. And I was curious, like, okay, so what is he gonna do? Like, clearly, he's gonna do something to move the needle forward. That's the whole point of it, right? And I'm saying to myself, well, what's going on? And he comes out there, and this is probably this promo he took that he had, to me, gave the most clarification as to what Bray Wyatt, what's really going on with Bray Wyatt as far as his character and what's going on. And there's a lot of theories, there's a lot of aspects to it that you can probably kind of like maneuver. But I realized, gentlemen, what's going on. Bray Wyatt is so good. He has come back. He's beefing with himself.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I can say. He's fighting.
How intelligent is that? Like, you're like, who's Bray Wyatt going to beef with? Who's he talking about? I'm like, dude, He's in a storyline by himself. Like
There is no opponent.
he created this character, Uncle Howdy, and Uncle Howdy is like, this character is like, first of all, it's got very schizophrenic vibes. Like when he has these, when he cuts these promos, and we see Uncle Howdy and these characters show up on the screen, what we're being privy to is what's going on inside of Bray Wyatt's head, because there's a reason it's his voice. Like when you hear Uncle Howdy, it's not that difference of a change, right? You hear this voice, it's like, dude, this is what's going on. Like we're inside Bray Wyatt's head. This is what this is like a depiction of. And I said, wait a minute. I said, Bray Wyatt is beefing with himself. He's like, dude, you know who you are, and the sooner you give in, the better you'll feel. He came back. He's trying to fight being the Fiend. Like Bray Wyatt cuts these pastor promos about who he's going to be. I don't have to be this person. I don't have to wear this mask. I don't have to do things this way. And he's like trying to like be real and tell the fans how much he loves them and how much he appreciates it. He comes from a family of pedigree, and here comes the voices in his head, no pun intended, Randy Orton telling him like, dude, what are you saying? Like, tell the people, would they really adore you if they found out what you really were about? Like, you're trying to avoid being something that we know that you are. And I'm sure he's making reference to the Fiend in some way. But Bray Wyatt's like, no, I just want to be Bray Wyatt and be myself. And I'm turning the clock on this story. I'm telling the story like I'm get to be and like he's like fighting with himself. And he's like, no, I know you better than that. You were stronger when you were him. But
do you think? Oh, sorry.
No, go ahead.
Do you think the Fiend is the big boss? That's his final form. Do you think the Fiend is, because he keeps referencing that was his dark place. That was the mask he put on. Because if you think about all of Bray Wyatt, every time he said, I was like, it's building up to this Fiend. Something's going to happen to the Fiend. Like
he couldn't control the Fiend. That was the whole point of the little Mr. Rogers Neighborhood kind of guy. He was like, yeah, when he could, every time he said something in regards to the Fiend, Brother Brandon, he would always mention like, look, I can't control him. Once he takes control, he's going to get what he wants. Once he does what he wants to do, or once he comes, I can't stop him. And now he's like, bro, I don't have to be that way. I don't know if he's the big boss or not, but I am aware like this dude is struggling within himself. And there's more than one character that's influencing what's going on in Bray Wyatt. But the crazy, stuff aside, and I'm going to point out one nugget before I get to you, Brian H. It's just like, it's crazy that this dude is that good that he's beefing with himself. Who's your first feud, Bray Wyatt, when you come back? I got an idea. Let it be against me. It's like, what? And the crazy part is he's pulling it off. He's beefing with himself. He's in a feud with himself. He's cutting promos like, dude, I have this urge to want to do something, and I got to get away from these things because I'm trying to fight it. And I'm like, okay, cool. Bray Wyatt is the character itself is so multidimensional that this man is that good that he is literally in a feud with himself. I think eventually we do see the Fiend's return, but there's so much more to this story than we are like, and they're slow walking it. Like this is a horror movie unfolding. And it's like, and it's crazy that we get to experience it because it's something that we really have not seen. I don't think Vince would have had the patience. He would have had to wrestle a couple wrestling matches by this time since he's been back. True. Because it's, at the end of the day, his bottom line is wrestling, the show, the fans. But Brian H., before you get your 2 cents, there's another nugget that I know we all saw, Brother Brandon, right before that women's tag team match, as Alexa Bliss began to speak. Come on, man. Like, dude, we're not doing this. I'm not going down any more rabbit holes. Stop playing with me.
That you miss it. You missed it. Who disappeared from TV? Who else disappeared from TV?
Stop playing with me. Like who?
Somebody disappeared from SmackDown. You ain't seen her in a couple weeks.
Who was on Smack? Was it Liv Morgan?
Yep. Did you see it last week?
No,
I missed SmackDown. So
did you see it the week before?
Yeah, she wasn't there.
It's been 2 weeks now.
I think the last time she fought Sonya Deville.
Yep.
But then she hit that suplex and she went crazy.
Yeah, she started spazzing, like she started tripping out.
If you notice, she started tripping out. Nikki Cross started tripping out, and now Alexa is switching. And let's call it being that women's tag match. The lights kept going on and off. Come on, man. Was that a power failure or was that him?
No, it wasn't no power failure. It's Saudi Arabia. They got plenty of money. They got plenty of power. Like it's all.
They got leather seats. They got leather seats in the front row. So
we didn't even find out what was going on with the car in the background. Remember, we don't know whose hand that was. We don't know. There's
Bro,
so many questions. That's
the
why I'm
lights-
here for the ride. I'm
bro,
loving the ride.
The arena went black, and I was like, why is it going black all of a sudden? It's not black for, and then it came back going like, you know how they had the at the top, they had the show lit up in green and purple with the posters at the top of the arenas where the spaces were between fans. It went dark a couple of times. I'm like, come on, man. And Alexa Bliss was like, never mind. I'm just like,
But she
come on,
said,
man.
"Hello, old friend," in her Twitter when he came
Yeah,
back.
stop playing with me, man. This is
It's a ride.
This is unbelievable. I never thought in 2022 we would get this level of storytelling, professional wrestling, but
It's great.
but yeah,
it's great.
but I'm
This
just-
is like when me and Brandon first met back in 2000.
Mhm.
This type of stories.
like Brian H. You if anybody loves stories, ladies and gentlemen, it's Brian H. Like you could pull Brian H. to any situation as long as you have good storytelling. That's why he watches the soaps sometimes. It's like, dude, why do you watch the soaps? He's like, no, you don't understand, dude. Like a good story.
You get
Like,
hooked. That's
as
all
a-
it takes.
Brian is a writer, right? So when you're a writer, you like to take from elements of good storytelling because it helps you kind of dig deeper into how to convey what's going on when you're trying to tell a story. I hope I made that very clear, right? So like Brian doesn't care where you're getting it from. That's why he'll look at anything, and it's like, man,
Ooh, shout out to Ciendo. She just brought up Dewdrop is missing too.
Oh, I forgot about her.
see, this is
She's gonna come back against Piper Neville, though.
Yes!
She ain't gonna come
yeah,
back
she
against
definitely
Dewdrop.
is. Come on now,
She
You
got
know
to come
she's
back
coming
as Piper.
Yeah, she already made it clear it was discussed. Triple H
As
is
long as she'll come
undoing.
back doing this, just
But
let her
she-
be her.
Triple H is undoing everything. So you know, like I don't at this point I'm convinced he brought back Emma for just out of spite. Like he's just like, dude.
Yeah, I feel like
I'm
that was
just-
watch what I do. He trying to give Vince a heart attack or something.
he at this
Wait,
point.
speaking
somebody,
of Vince, was
somebody
that
pissed
picture
him off.
real?
Which
Well,
one?
I don't know. I was going to ask about that picture.
That
Him
picture
sitting
of
at the
Vince,
table with black hair.
with a
I
date.
don't know.
because like the angle, his face looked like the when Eric Bischoff put that Vince McMahon mask
Yeah,
on.
yeah.
It looked like that, and I was like, "Well, his face looked too big, like it looked fake." But then, you know, if you're trying to sneak a picture, you the angles can be, and then if you the wrong mode of a camera, you can make it messed up looking.
It's possible. I don't know. Honestly, I don't know. That's a very good question, though. But we'll like I said, we'll continue to keep our eyes on Bray Wyatt.
Like
as we
who
move
said
on.
it in the comments? He's his own heel face character.
Bro?
Because
He
that
is though.
crowd
Like
was-
he's
that
beefing
crowd
with
was eating-
himself.
Everything he
Mhm.
said, they was hanging on. We miss you. This I was like, wow, it was. And then at the end, what did he say? My name is Bray Wyatt. My name is Bray Wyatt. It was like he's trying to fight himself. Like
Brother
How many
Brandon.
times
saw
you
like
think
a
you fight?
tear in his eye.
That's normal though, right? How many times as human beings do we struggle with ourselves with situations? You know?
He has given an outward illustration of what goes on within. And it's like
Yeah.
Brother Brandon said, he's sitting there fighting with himself and he's making a declaration. And guess what happens? He interrupts himself with this character called Uncle Howdy. Like it's your voice. It's in your head. He's like, dude, he's like, nah, you're lying to these folks, man. Tell them who you really are. It's only a matter of time
Are
before
you
you
Uncle
go
Howdy?
there.
You
Listen,
sound
I
like
could
him.
be like I'm watching stuff, but like when
Hey
the Bray
man,
Wyatt
we don't say anything can happen nowadays.
when the
Right.
listen, yeah, you hear that, Brother Brandon? Anything can happen nowadays.
Right, you see
Good
how I
Lord.
gave him look. Who
Listen,
knows what's the next?
anything.
What's the next
Guys-
thing? Next
guys-
season's gonna bring?
Guys turning heels, guys getting elevated, moving to the main roster, all kinds of things. But
No more developmental brand for me.
No, sir. Just championship reigns. You get the strap, kid. But it's just it's unreal that it's like he made a declaration and he keeps interrupting himself every week. Will they still love you if they know the truth? Tell them who you really are. And I'm just
And
like,
the crowd
what?
said, "We love you." The crowd was chanting, "Okay."
And
we
then the
still
fans,
love you.
the fans are conflicted, like, what's going on? Because we know this Bray Wyatt. It's awkward, but it's fun though. It's just, I never thought we would get this level of depth of storytelling in professional wrestling each week. And it's not like when you see a movie or episodic television show, you have time dedicated to answer these questions, or even in a good book or novel or even a short story. But we're getting that level of entertainment in professional wrestling, which I'm having such a blast doing. It's just like you said, Brother Brad, going along for the ride. It's fun to actually say we can. It's not so predictable, and it's like in the age of the digital media age, social media age of 2022, going to 2023. Man, it's fun to be able to say, I don't know what's going to happen next. It's not that obvious anymore. And I think that's what keeps us watching. But speaking of keeping us watching, gentlemen, it's time to bring an investigation to a close. Brian H, cue the music. Cue the music, Brian H. Ladies and gentlemen, we have for weeks and weeks and weeks. WWE even stole our concept and our idea. Hope this doesn't get Brian in trouble. Brian H in trouble.
I'm good.
And we can finally come to a conclusion, ladies and gentlemen, on the investigation between Dexter Lumis and The Miz. I don't know if we talked about it maybe a week or two ago, but we kind of alluded like, what if The Miz was doing this, or what if this is like all a part of an audition or something? You know, we kind of had a discussion where we alluded that maybe this was some type of facade in regards to The Miz and his interactions with Dexter Lumis. And ladies and gentlemen, we finally come down to the truth. We have finally received answers that The Miz was indeed in cahoots with Dexter Lumis. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. I didn't misspeak. I said that correctly. The Miz was in cahoots with Dexter Lumis. It turns out that The Miz was spied on by a private investigator who disguised herself as a movie director. Henceforth, the suspenseful music. This has got to be what soap opera is this from, Brian H?
That's Perry Mason.
That sounds like something from this.
Oh, it's Perry Mason.
That's Perry Mason
from the 70s.
How old are you, B?
Ladies and gentlemen.
Hey, I remember music. That's all.
No, that's
I remember music, but that's impressive.
All this from Perry Mason? I know that song. It turns out, ladies and gentlemen, that The Miz was indeed in cahoots with Dexter Lumis. It turns out that Dexter Lumis being released from the WWE, they used that as a way to kind of say, well, shoot, I'll pay you to do a job since you're not doing much as it is. And
my bad.
That was like a voice clip of Brian H's. And you have there'll be plenty of time for voice clips going forward. And the Miz apparently stopped paying Dexter Lumis. He was trying to garner some buzz for himself to get himself back on track as far as his film empire, as far as being an actor and a Hollywood A-list celebrity. And somewhere along the line, the Miz stopped paying Dexter Lumis and things started to get too real. Apparently, according to the Miz, WWE higher-ups were like, man, they were launching investigations like we were and going to get authorities involved, and things seem to have gotten out of hand. Gentlemen, how do you guys feel now that we've kind of got to the end of this? How do you feel about the Miz kind of manufacturing his own stunts of publicity to kind of gain some notoriety for himself? Brian H.
Miz on another level. This is what the Miz does.
You ain't lying.
You know, I mean, I think he's one of the greatest of all time characters and memorable characters of all time. And this just makes sense. You know, he's the better have my money. It just makes so much sense. You know, how does the thing about the Miz is he's always going to find a way to stay relevant, title or no title. And this is just another way, and it's elevating another guy that I cared nothing about.
Sure.
When he was there, like this dude was at MCW, and it was like nobody like went crazy. It was like, oh yeah, that's Dexter Lumis.
Oh yeah, sure, Dexter's here. Got it.
Now if he was to show up today,
oh yeah,
everybody will be there.
He could double his rates now.
Oh, absolutely. You know, but yes, Miz being Miz.
Brother Brandon, speaking of Miz being Miz, I love the fact that Miz is working with young talent like Johnny Gargano. Not necessarily young talent, but I'll say new faces. Dexter Lumis, and it's like Brian's made them relevant. For you as a brother that has an affinity for pushing new talent, you know, being a former promotion owner and booker, how do you feel about the Miz working with new faces, new talent, as they adjust to the main roster, such as a Dexter Lumis, such as a Johnny Gargano?
If it's going to give us matches like we had on Monday, do it. That could have been on any pay-per-view and been the opening match or the main event for any pay-per-view because, like Brian said, the Miz is just on, and he keeps every time you're like, all right, what's next for the Miz? Oh, this is what's next. Every time you're like, all right, when you think it's over, he does another layer, and then when it really feels stale, what do you do? Bring Maurice in to help add something else to it. You know, and he had, unfortunately, Ciampa is injured right now, and I was loving the fact that he was working with him and being his own character, not, you know, Ms. Dow or somebody, his extra person. He's his own person that's just with the Miz. Yeah, but now I'm looking forward to him and Dexter actually having a match and it being one of the things that you want to see, whether it be on Monday Night Raw, on the match card, hey, tonight is actually going to happen, or if it's at Survivor Series, it's at Raw, wherever the match is going to happen, because I would hate to say we got to wait till Royal Rumble and they have a stare down. And then it's like, oh, Miz got eliminated by him, and that's our WrestleMania match for the Miz. Because I feel like we really want to drag that part out since we got the reveal until Mania. But if it's going to keep giving us this, because him and Jarrett, they'll probably run it back a couple more times. And I think because, you know, those Ohio boys, they both from there. I don't know how to explain it. It's like Johnny Gargano doesn't have a bad match, nor does the Miz. No, but the Miz is going to make sure you have a good match.
Yeah, I couldn't have put it better myself. It's just that when you look at the position that the Miz is in, like Johnny Gargano versus the Miz, like come on now, like Miz is top guy. You know what I mean? And they found a way to keep insert Johnny Gargano into the feud to the point where it's like, man, that match could have main evented any show on any day of the week. And like you said, it's Dexter Lumis versus the Miz is going to be one of the most anticipated matchups now, just because of all that's gone on, and it shows the versatility for how they're booking long-term booking. You know what I mean? It's not just everything's not a Bobby versus Brock Lesnar type situation. You know what I mean?
Correct.
Yeah. And it's like what we enjoyed early on in the 90s is because they found a way to make everybody on the card, no matter where you were, feel important, right? So like they found a way to make D'Lo Brown versus X-Pac important. They weren't like, all right, well, that's just the opening match. It's like, no, you care just as much about D'Lo Brown versus X-Pac because of how they built the storytelling around that. You know, you cared about Val Venus and Kai and Tai. You know what I mean? You cared about,
indeed.
You know, you cared about those aspects, no matter where they were on the card. It wasn't like, okay, well, you're on the bottom of the card, so it's not that important. No, it's like you made everything feel important. And I feel like
I always said about the Vince Russo era.
Yeah, like, and that's I think he was the spearhead of that.
Yeah, because like, and shout out to brother Hugh that's not here. I always say if you can take a cup of coffee and tell a story into it, when Jericho turned around and spilled that cup of coffee on Kane, right? There's my Jericho reference for the night. And that was one of the marquee matches of the pay-per-view. It's like if you could do something as simple as this guy kept showing up, nobody knew why, and then this is why, and I'm actually vested in it. And from this, he's not even wrestling the guy that's mad at him. He's wrestling the guy that exposed him. And now where does that story go next week? Because you know it's going to be something extra. You know it's going to be something different. And then when Ciampa comes back, what's going to happen then? Ooh, we still got these elements in there.
Yeah, and I go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, you're good. I just don't want us to be WrestleMania's the tag match. You know what I mean? And I don't know if Ciampa will be back by then, or Indy Hartwell and Dexter Lumis versus the Miz and Maurice. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
they're okay to something, but not in WrestleMania. It needs to be if we're going to drag it out to then, let it be that blow off between them two.
No, and I'm okay with that too, because like I said, there's multiple parties involved, and I think that's the biggest thing from the Triple H era that I'm seeing the most is that they have one storyline, but there's also there's multiple pieces involved in that one storyline, and I think that just helps. That's how you solve the problem of having a lot of talent on your roster, but kind of find a way to get everybody over. It doesn't have to be about the match or the 5-star or the title. It's like you have one storyline, and you just kind of figure out how everybody plays their role in this storyline, which I think is really cool, man. But like I said, after so many weeks, man, we finally got down to the end of it, and you know, it kind of deflated when WWE stole our idea, but it's okay. But but like I said, moving on as we get into the main event of the show, with Austin Theory's failed cash in, because that's the last thing we got to break down. Like I said, I don't want to be on here too late, but we got to get into that. So we'll hit briefly on these next 2 points. First of all, I'll go out of order a little bit. The end of the 24/7 championship. Nikki Cross is Nikki Cross is back, like Nikki Cross, like crazy Nikki Cross, and she's got a little sexier edge to her. I like her this way. Like she don't look so dirty. She's like, okay, you got a little. I see you, Nikki Cross. Like Brownish fell out of his chair. I popped the boys. It worked.
Oh boy, I can't clip that one off.
Dude, like she's like what do you say? She doesn't look dirty. Like in NXT, she was just like she was almost like a
back alley fighter.
She looked like Luke Harper. She looked like Brody Lee. Like she was just
yeah, like she was just like this. You see it, you're like, whoa, hold on.
She's got like
says she don't look like she stink.
No, she's got some tight leather pants on and she's got her hair dolled up. But they found a way to it. Like it's once again Triple H giving your old man a finger. It's like I'm taking a concept that you said didn't work on a smaller level, which is fine. But he's adopted it for the main roster. Like, okay, cool. Maybe she can't be so dirty. Let's doll her up a little bit, but she's still edgy and she's still crazy. She beats Dana Brooke, and we kind of saw this coming. Even though Dana Brooke's a Triple H young lady, she beats Dana Brooke for the 24/7 championship, and then kind of dumps it in the trash can. Even though she missed the trash can, Bailey looked at it and wanted to laugh like trash can.
Did you see Bailey try to give it to her like you're supposed to take this? Hey, you want your belt? Oh, I'm gonna just sit it right there. Like Bailey was like, I'm gonna just sit it. I'm gonna just sit it right there. There you go. That's yours. And she just was like walking. I was like, Bailey. That's why I say Bailey.
Brandon, you don't have the 24/7 championship.
When you said, brother Alec, I'm sorry. So here's my. So let me tell you this about a 24/7 title.
Yes, sir.
I hate when WWE just like. Never mind the belts. Just forget about it. It don't happen. Like they did it with the Cruiserweight belt. Oh, Hornswoggle, give me the belt. You don't get this anymore. Okay, we're gonna just sit it over here. It doesn't exist anymore.
I forgot about that.
It did with the European title too.
Yeah, no, the European title got merged. That's when
no. Remember, it was sitting in Shane McMahon's bag, and Midian was like, "Hey, Shane, can I borrow a belt?" He's like, "Yeah, I don't care." He's like, "Yeah." He's like, "Yeah, I saw one in your bag. Maybe you think I can borrow it?" He's like, "I don't care, man. Go ahead. Do what you got to do." And he sort of walk around with the European title around his waist. And I'm like, "Wait a minute, that's not even being defended anymore." Of course, they did eventually merge it with the Intercontinental Championship.
Yeah, but I totally forgot about it. That. Was the what did that just happen moment? Like
he really said, "Shane, can I borrow a belt?" I'm sorry, I don't have mine. He's like, "I saw one in your bag. You mind if I borrow it?" He's like, "Yeah." It was literally the European. Shane was the last European championship for the longest time.
Yep, because he was the longest reign. And we're just having on this seat. But I just I hate to say this. I'm not a fan of like merging together. Like when they merge the cruiserweight and the American title.
No,
I was like, why?
You lose the title.
Classes.
Right.
Yeah, it's like
right.
So I was watching something. They said, "Oh, they could have just had her and Bianca merge the women's title with that one." I was like, that wouldn't make sense. Like, if anything, just say let Nikki Cross destroy it. Then like that was the other alternative, and I was like. That actually would have been kind of cool to say she's really that crazy if she's backstage. And if Finn Rage just destroyed it and saying, this is how I feel about it, whatever may be, this belt is over. I'm done with it. Or something, had her do something else.
She definitely threw it in the trash. And apparently she missed the trash can. Apparently
you gotta give her hooping skills, bro.
Just gotta
That's what her husband said. She wasn't good at basketball.
So it's just like, Taekwon is right. The hardcore title definitely got unified well for RVD and Tommy Dreamer. That's very true.
Like I said it best. I do have limits. I will not get that 24/7.
Real quick, would you ever think about getting a hardcore championship?
Yes, actually, I considered it. I did consider the hardcore title. But not the.
It looks too clean.
I never liked the replica version. I'm like, dude, that's too like give me an old Wing Eagle. Let me beat it up.
I want because I feel like if I got one that was beat up, it'd be like, oh, dang, a piece fell off, and I'm like, oh, I wouldn't.
Bro, get some tape.
It's just like when they do them replicas, they look too clean. Like,
but most of the replicas for the hardcore title aren't the same. That was one of the things when they brought it out. They had like different variations of them. Like if you look at some of the because people were talking about, if you read the comments, they have like different variations of it because of how they made like duct tape might be this way on one, duct tape is a different way. They're not all the cookie cutter the same one.
That's why I use the guy.
The guy, not just any guy, the guy, the King himself. I had a foam WWF championship. It was the blue with the blue strap and it was plastic, and I literally cracked the plate. And I said, well, I said, well, god dang, I lost my title, but it's no need for us to go to waste. I grabbed some duct tape. I wrote masking tape, and I wrote hardcore on it. And I picked that bad boy up, and I was like, whoop, now I got a hardcore
For
championship.
me, the paint wore off. The paint wore off.
Yeah, Brian Ace was black.
Oh.
Like his plate, because he said the plastic.
By the time you saw it, yep.
The plate used to be all black, and they had like gold paint on it. They would etch the gold around the black plate. It was just straight black plate. But yeah, that's the end of the 24/7 championship. It was a Vince McMahon creation. It was kind of the laughing gag of the show, but you know.
But it never took off. It was never taken seriously. It was never nothing that you said,
I don't think it was meant to be taken seriously. I think he was trying to recreate the excitement of the hardcore championship, because I remember it was being talked about.
Yeah,
and that's why they had Mick Foley introduce it.
But it went, you had
but
people
Mick Foley even felt bad. He didn't introduce.
It turned to a running joke after a while. So like, I don't know what Reggie's going to do no more. Like Reggie hasn't been seen on TV since.
Right.
Like that was McMahon's like, let's have a comedy break within the show and just have we got used to it.
The greatest 24/7 champion is injured right now.
Who is on record? Who are you saying?
R-Truth. He had the most titles. He's the greatest one.
He was. R-Truth was a gem. Get well, Truth. He just came back to TV and he goes into NXT with them young boys and he got hurt flipping over ropes. Like, look, you look like you young, but R-Truth, those bones don't move the way they used to. Buddy.
Exactly.
But he had his full song. He came out with his whole song.
Oh no, that's what people pay to see. So. But yeah, that's the recipe to the 24 championship. We had
random fact. I just realized Survivor Series 92 had one traditional Survivor Series match. Like I'm sitting here watching this, I'm like,
that's strange for 92 though, because like
bingo. I was say that was during the time it was like
2002 maybe, but not 92.
Yeah, and this is a this pay-per-view is when it was just 4. So last year it was just 4 because King of the Ring would come out next year. But I was like, wait a minute. There's only one traditional Survivor Series match, and that was a tag match. So, of course, I went to the Wikipedia machine, and sure enough, the Natural Disasters team with the Nasty Boys going against Money Inc. and the Beverly Brothers. Everything else,
that was the only one on there, correct?
Yep. Everything else is a singles match or a tag match. Y'all know the main event of this match? The show?
I'm trying to think.
You said 92?
92.
Yep. Bret Hart, Flair, or Hogan. Take your pick.
I think it wasn't Flair.
Nope.
It wasn't Flair in 92?
92. November.
I would have thought Flair for sure. Oh, man. Who is
blank? Flair, yeah. I just mentioned he teamed with my Razor Ramon to go against Savage and Perfect because Warrior got kicked out.
Oh, yeah.
It was Bret Hart and Shawn Michaels.
Really?
Was that 92?
Yeah, Shawn Michaels was the Intercontinental Champion, but Bret had just won the WWE Championship and would go ahead and defend the WWE Championship.
This wasn't against the with his Hart brothers, was it?
No, that was the next year because during the promo the next year.
See, that's why I said it was 93 when they wrestled, wasn't it?
Yeah, so
because he brought the brothers out of retirement.
And he said in Shawn Michaels promo, he said, Bret, both of us was champions last year. I still got my belt. You don't have yours. Because Shawn was there.
Oh, okay. You're right.
You're taking shots underneath the belt.
Yeah, and yesterday, as we done crossed over to midnight, was the 25th anniversary of the Montreal Screwjob. And it's so crazy because out of all the 25th year anniversaries this year, this was the least posted about.
I guess so. There's nothing to celebrate.
Everybody is the business is over the Montreal Screwjob.
Hey, I posted that's a real heel move.
I posted a couple clips about it, but the episodes for work, obviously, because it's like, hey, if you didn't catch
work, you had to post something.
Yeah, maybe like you didn't catch this book of wrestling.
Did you have to post something from the job?
Yeah, but I was like, I am over it. I feel like I have a master's degree in the Montreal Screwjob at this point.
I can imagine
about all these perspectives. I'm like, come on now.
Talked about for 25 effing years.
I'm curious to see how Bret Hart feels about it, but then again, I don't want to know. That man's happy. Let's keep him that way. But yeah, man, listen.
You bring up Goldberg. He had Goldberg more than Shawn.
I was saying he
still hates
Goldberg. Owes him money. Goldberg gave him some of that money from.
He said that man said he was getting $3 million a year. Goldberg, you owe me some money. He said he took me the last couple of years of my contract. I was making $3 million a year. Oh boy, that's the WCW bread. But last thing before we get into the main event, Mia Yim's return, gentlemen. I know this is somebody you guys personally work with.
Yeah.
How you guys feel about Stephanie's return to the WWE? See, I called it.
Wow, that's what we doing.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. That's right.
I'm happy for her. Most important that she's not
an Impact anymore.
Reckoning.
You jerk.
reckoning. Yeah. Yeah, I'm happy because it's long. I mean, let's see what happens. I think this is a good spot for her. She get to work with
Some bets.
greats. Yeah. So
Let's see what happens if Keith Lee decides he wants to leave AEW. Yeah,
look, that man, he already, him and Swerve and Our Glory, they keep. I think that's coming to a head at Full Gear in a couple weeks.
Mhm.
I just got a gut feeling, like and that kind of might seem like a shoot. Some of it.
Swerve can stay in AEW once they keep Lee back. Yeah, why am I talking like Macho Man at 12:24 in the
That's what I
morning?
said.
Yeah.
You got him going.
Yeah. But yeah, I'm good on this. Yeah, he said Taquan said he wants to see the mixed match challenge so they can team up. I wouldn't mind seeing something happen with them on camera because they got that dynamic. I just don't see it, no room for it right now.
Do you guys pay attention to the rebuild of Shelton Benjamin?
A little
The
bit.
gold standard is back.
You see how they're trying to. You see they're trying to like press like WWE's been pushing
Him and Brock
stuff like.
Lesnar were tag team champions.
I
three
said,
times. I was like,
I said, okay, why are you guys trying to rebuild Shelton Benjamin? Like, let's like rebuilding him as like a formidable WWE superstar, which he is. But like I said, a lot of his history is lost in the sauce. But it's like, do we sense a little Hurt Business reunion coming soon? Bobby Lashley is starting to get a little edgier.
they give him some more. They give him prestige. And the thing about Shelton that people don't realize, him and Kofi had similar careers in that mid card division.
That's the crazy part.
And because remember, they were interchangeable with Intercontinental US, and Brian, your memory is a lot better than mine. Didn't Shelton have one of the belts for a year plus, and just kept having which one?
No, that was a forgettable period in wrestling.
Yeah, that's why I can't remember which one.
Hey. Don't disrespect my man Shelton. The truth.
Hey, I'm just saying, like I don't remember it vividly. Like there was that era.
Okay.
Well, Ciendo wants to see Purrazzo come back.
Yeah, I was going to say that opens the door for other women. But the thing that I kind of didn't like about Mia Yim's return, it kind of was just like insert the Mia Yim. Like, it didn't have it should have had a bigger pop. It was like, oh, she attacked Rhea outside.
Bro, that was the worst wrestling town besides Corpus Christi.
Oh
Texas.
yeah, they're not going back to West PA no more.
No, I heard that's a house show town, but
she deserved more. I feel like it was kind of like a wasted, like, oh, the OC. Like, if you were going to bring her in for the OC, let them one more week of this, and then she could have came and saved them from Rhea. Like, make her, because Rhea clearly is the standout star of the Judgment Day, but now you have somebody directly to combat it, and I feel like she deserves more. And the thing is, like, true wrestling fans know Mia Yim and TNA, Mia Yim and WWE are two different people. Like, even like it's a whole different presentation of her. So if you don't know the NXT one, you don't know what they were trying to do with her and put her over as this force in NXT. And it was like she was a force.
HBIC.
Yeah, I didn't want to say that, but you know what I mean? It was like she deserved more. I just was like, that's what we do. Like, oh, she's a big enough star in the other industries, but the WWE fans only know the NXT version of her, not knowing that she could be a big deal. Like, and I don't want to compare to Karrion Kross, but when he came back, he had a bigger pop and bigger fanfare. And it was like, me, I was like, oh, somebody for Rhea Ripley. We need a lady until Beth is ready to come back with Edge for 746 return.
Oh, boy. Edge comes back.
On this day, I see clearly.
Edge's whole sick.
Give me that.
Give it to me. Give it to me.
But I mean, I just feel like it deserved a better. I feel like Triple H was jet lagged, and he was like, "Oh, we got to play this." Oh shoot, yeah. You good? All right, she's back. Go ahead, insert her here.
I think he was just trying to figure stuff out. Like he's like, let's just bring people in. Like let's just like we know we're bringing her back. Let's just use this as an excuse to do it. We know it's not going to make a whole lot of sense, but it's speaking of things not making a whole lot of sense and trying to get through stuff. As Brian takes a squeak of his beer. It's like I'm joking. It's water. it's water. If anybody sees it, it's clearly a water
Spotify.
canister.
It has a Spotify.
Wow.
He's drinking from the Spotify.
Drinking from the Spotify from the Spotify water
You
container.
drinking the Kool-Aid? You drinking the Kool-Aid, man?
Yeah. You know, sometimes the Kool-Aid tastes real good.
Oh. It's a little cold over there.
Hold the Kool-Aid,
It's a
no
little cold.
sugar. Yeah, the Kool-Aid tastes right.
It's a little
tasty,
cold.
Spotify can, yeah. We just keep rolling and rolling to the top. Yeah, the cream of the crop.
But gentlemen, this is what the fans came to say. If they're still with us, appreciate you. If not, I'll be nice.
Hey, the ratings increasing, so shout out to everybody who just tuned in.
Yeah, like, it's like I don't know. This is weird. Like it's late and everybody's like, who's up right now? It's a wrestling show going on. This might
Drop
be
a
our new bit.
comment. If you up, drop a comment and make sure you check out the earlier part of the show. The great Brandon the guy, revealed his new belt.
Yes, indeed, a new exclusive Wrestling Realm special edition.
That
Exclusive.
clip already set to go on Instagram as soon as we get off the air.
This is why you are one heck of a producer. Queen of the crop rises to the top.
I try, you know. I appreciate y'all putting me in this position.
Oh, listen, it wasn't us, buddy. You put
yourself in this position to grab the best ring. Yeah.
You just keep going and going and going.
You just going and going and going. If the Macho Man impresses a
hey, this is a good question.
People in the row. Oh, here it comes.
Who overstayed their welcome more, Edge or Rey Mysterio?
Ha!
Edge, definitely Edge.
See, Rey Mysterio was smart because they moved him to a different show. They don't acknowledge his son anymore. He's like getting back to being Rey Mysterio. He's like fighting for titles again. And
he don't come back and they say, "Oh, he's returned." It's Rey Mysterio has a match tonight.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Oh, here's Rey Mysterio.
I agree.
He's never left.
Edge gets a vignette. He gets you excited about something that's just like, and then he just comes back howling and screaming like, "Dude, you gave me that whole vignette thinking something spicy was about to happen."
I will always say I don't think the Gangrel thing. I mean, the Brood thing was done coincidentally. Somebody gave him
the first time it was cool, but the second time it was like, well, dude, we saw this already. Come on.
Somebody told him Gangrel was going to AEW, of course, and he was like, "Oh, really?" And he took that man paycheck,
and that was tough though. I'm not gonna lie. He came back, dun, 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 dun,
bro,
dun, and they teased it. I was like, "Oh, this is cool."
It was tough, and it looked dope at SummerSlam. But let's be real.
Brian, you gotta look this up. I forgot to verify this. Somebody on one of the shows I watched said Jinder Mahal's title reign as WWE champion was longer than all of Edge's title reigns for his world title.
Really?
And I forgot to go check that because when you said that, because Edge always talk about I gotta go to a deep place, I gotta be this dark committed person. I was like, he was a transitional champion. I mean, he did hot shot that belt a lot.
Are we gonna get a Jinder Mahal repackage?
I hope.
He disappeared.
Was he a Triple H guy?
I don't think he was. He helped him in NXT in the beginning.
He was in the first championship match at NXT with Seth Rollins for the NXT championship. And then after that match,
Rollins.
you know what I'm saying? After that match, he got what you call it. But like with this, let's get
to Edge's 170 days. Edge 4-time champion, 139 days.
Wow.
Don't hinder the gender. But as Brother Hugh said, he tuned in the Maharaja, one of my favorite champions of all time. Like I just thought he did that. A lot of people didn't like that run, but I was happy with it though.
I was too.
That was when Road Dogg was running the show, SmackDown.
It was shocking. And he did what he had to do.
And I know Randy Orton was high on him from the beginning. I remember when they dropped the ball the first time, him to kind of full circle go back and finish it off.
Oh yeah, the Rock raised one short.
No, well, The Rock did have the one from King of the Ring all the way to No Mercy. So that's June to October. That was probably his longest run. Brian,
this is the Swabby of wrestling dates. See how he just
when he took it from Punk, was that longer to get to the Cena match?
Took it off who?
And people still mad. Man, we should have been seeing Punkies, man. No, it shouldn't have. You know what's real quick about this Brett and Shawn match at Survivor Series? I had a wrestling magazine that this match was in. It wasn't WWE magazine because it was in black and white, but I remember getting like coloring it with crayons because I had to write.
Wow.
Like, I knew that Shawn Michaels' pants was red because that's all. Like at that time, I didn't pay attention to gear like you would have, but I knew Shawn Michaels, his primary colors was red, and obviously I knew Brett was pink and black. But yeah, I had like every time I see him in that funky looking gear, I remember that magazine.
Too hot to handle, too cold to hold. Shawn Michaels always in the right gear, makes the right matches go, yeah.
And then I'll show the belt again. I saw his comment came across. Once we finish, I'll show the belt again.
Show the title one more time for the fans, Brandon. Yeah.
I thought you wanted to finish with the main event of Raw.
Okay, here we go. Main event. We rambling. That's
main
okay.
event.
Let's get
Main
to it.
event. Speaking
Brothers.
of stuff, Ralph, I was trying to give you the segue. You missed it earlier.
No, I definitely did. I wasn't even catching it. Hold on, that was terrible. Okay. This is what people can't listen to. Like this late, and everybody's tuning out. It's okay. Austin Theory's failed. Austin Theory's failed cash in. I gotta say with excitement this time. There's a lot to unpack here, but a lot to me. Now, you brothers, please interject. It seemed to me a lot of people were not happy about the situation, but there seemed to be two different trains of thoughts on how people feel about Austin Theory, right? On one hand, there's this logical approach where everybody goes, well, everybody knows Austin Theory kind of got hot shot into the main event because Vince is like, I got a new guy. I want to make him a star. I want to make him a star now. Roman Reigns, John Cena style. And it was cool that he was kind of McMahon's kind of lackey and trying to teach him stuff and the stuff they were doing. But then people got nervous when he won the Money in the Bank briefcase because it's like, oh, he's going to be the next world champion. You got Roman, you got Brock. Who the heck is he going to beat? There was no real way to make that make any sense. Like, let's just be realistic. Like, dude, I sure you can beat Brock, sure you can beat Roman, but you're going to mess up somebody's business relationship trying to hot shot Austin Theory into that spot because you feel like he's the future. I respect that, but bad choice if you ask me. Sorry, I don't mean to know that. I'm trying to figure out how to put this together. But Brian H. There's a very specific reason as to why Austin Theory's cash in had to be aborted, like abort mission, right? And I think when we look at it, there was no real way for this to end in a way that it was going to make sense.
Right.
All we know is, or maybe felt or thought as we watched, was something had to be done. And it seemed like for weeks after McMahon had retired, that we got to figure out how to do this because it's like he was being pushed too fast. There's so many other deserving talent that had momentum at the moment, and not that. And I think Austin Theory is an extremely remarkable talent. That's like, to me, has a huge upside, right? But I don't think he's ready by any means this early on, right? And we noticed that they were trying to figure out what to do. Is because one, he disappeared from TV for a little bit, not too long. He started showing up. He would show up like on NXT just to tease, like, hey, this could be a potential thing too. Could go back NXT, be the man, because he would definitely be the man down at NXT. Like if he goes down there now and beats Braun Breaker, no one's going to bat an eye about it. As much momentum as Braun Breaker has right now, it's not going to look like, oh wow, who's this guy that beat Braun Breaker? They're going to say, well, this guy with all this main roster experience coming back to NXT, of course he can dominate. I mean, you know, it won't seem so far fetched, right?
Right.
And we were watching it and waiting to see what was going to happen. And then he even teased it at SummerSlam, you know, and we were like, uh-oh, Austin Theory's about to cash in, you know, with the whole situation with Brock and Roman Reigns. That didn't work out. To finally Austin Theory deciding to cash in for one, a mid-card title, which is the first time I believe this has happened.
Yep.
For mid-card title. And then ultimately being attacked by Bobby Lashley, losing, and he joins that small group of unsuccessful Money in the Bank contract holders that failed to cash in. I'm sure lots of people have different thoughts and ideas as to why this happened, but Brian H., we'll start with you. I have my 2 cents because we talked about it briefly.
Yep.
But we're going to start here with you, brother. Tell the people why Austin Theory had a failed cash in and what's next for Austin Theory and where does he kind of go from here?
Well, you look at a guy like Austin Theory. First of all, he's young, right? He's like 25,
very young,
26. Yep. So there's enough time. You know, you look at people like I looked at Baron Corbin, Otis, Braun Strowman, John Cena, Damian Sandow. you take out Damian Sandow and you take out John Cena and Braun Strowman. None of them would ever like get it. The other ones wouldn't get the title. I look at Theory as somebody as like you said, it just wasn't. You're not going to mess up a business relationship. There was also theories out there that maybe Cody would win the title, and we
had a Cody return. Don't Austin Theory's kind of like uprising, Cody.
Yeah, Cody could win the title and then Austin Theory, but then it's like, are you gonna mess up that moment? Do you really want to send the fans home angry if you have Cody win at WrestleMania, something that he's been chasing, something that he's came back for?
Exactly.
No, it's not going to make sense. There's also the thought that there will be a Money in the Bank at WrestleMania. So why, if there's anybody who could take this L and not get hurt by it, to me, it's Austin Theory. Like, to me, when Damian Sandow failed to cash in, I was like, it's a wrap. He's going to the back. When Baron Corbin, who I never thought should have had the briefcase in the first place,
never.
And Otis, as much as it was fun, it was a pandemic thing, so it was just like, all right, this is cool. Clearly, they got it off of him. So I think Austin Theory, it was simply, like you said, a reset button. Let's hit the reset button, and then let's move forward. Again, you could have did the NXT gig. You could have even had him fail to cash in NXT, but then it's like, to me, it looks better to fail. I know people hate the fact that it was against Seth Rollins. People even hate the fact that it was during the open challenge. But
it's different, yep.
If anything, Seth Rollins is the guy on Raw. No doubt about it. No matter which way you look at it, yeah, Roman can go there, whatever. But Seth Rollins, so you go out there, you try to beat the guy. It's one of those things where
he is your top champion on Raw. I didn't even realize that, but he is.
Yeah, you don't even try to make sense out of it. You just kind of chalk it up. There's something else the old regime did. We're gonna move forward. I'm pretty sure Austin Theory's good, so that's the way I look at it. It's nothing to be, people. I understand why y'all upset, but y'all ain't want him having a briefcase in the first place. Everybody wanted Rollins to win the briefcase that night.
Absolutely. Brother Brandon, what's your take on Austin Theory's failed cash in? One, not only just his failed cash in, but first of all, why and how he cashed it, and he cashed in for a United States Championship. As Brian has kind of alluded to, it kind of helps put that title over a little bit because he was treating that title as if it's a world title. Like, it was that important to him because it's kind of the top championship on Raw. But how do you feel as a fan watching him, first of all, somebody cash in on a mid-card title and ultimately losing?
So it was kind of different, but when it comes to Austin Theory, because I was trying to figure out I couldn't remember which promotion he was a dual champion in, and that's what I was looking up. But remember, on Evolve is somebody else. He had both world titles. So he has the making for a world champion, and he has the making to put the company on his back.
Sure, absolutely.
But he needs, and I'm going to use this pun, he needs a Randy Orton to his Austin Theory. He doesn't have anybody that's really going to help him get to that point, because right now, I think the WWE realized, oh, shoot, we put both belts on Roman. Roman can't lose to just Theory. We don't have any kind of storyline to say it's only for one belt versus two. And then we don't have the Knight in Shining Armor, the Cody Rhodes, the Randy Orton, to somebody to take it from him at this time. Yeah. Or somebody for him to take it from when they win it. And it's going to be a longer storyline. Take it off of him. He still be a featured product. He still be a featured person. He can still float between Raw, SmackDown, and NXT if we need him to. Because this is not his first main roster run that people forget. His first run was during the pandemic with Seth Rollins.
Yeah.
So he's been repackaged. He's really being Austin Theory right now. I'm okay with seeing him next week on Monday Night Raw against somebody else because he's not putting on bad matches. He's actually decent.
Nah, he looks good in the ring though.
And no matter who he wrestles, it's going to be he looks good in defeat because it's still Austin Theory. That was a good match. It's not one of those I need to go do something else. It's he's annoying, but I'm
that's
okay
kind of
with
his
the
job.
match.
Yeah.
And even when he did the failed cash in, as Seth freaking Rollins being Seth freaking Rollins, that's now going back to the babyface side, for him to get beat up and bashed, and then it's like, oh no, you ain't gonna take my title. And who was it? Theory did the pedigree on him, and it was like, oh, I'm gonna get this title. And Seth just kept kicking out. It was like they told a story that now Theory can feud with him, but now you got Theory, You got Bobby Lashley
Yep.
and Mustafa all gunning for the title on
Like,
Raw.
Yeah, that's the truth. No,
But
it's
now
it's.
Theory can- he's
Go ahead.
just-
Go,
he's
keep
just-
going.
No, I'm just saying, Theory. I'm happy that it's off of it because now we don't have that cloud of oh,
Pressure,
God, he
like,
still
yeah,
got
yeah,
that belt. Oh, he still got that. I mean, not the belt. He got that briefcase still. What is he going to talk about? I'm going to be the youngest because he shut up about that. And it was like, all right, it was something different. I mean, and does that open the gate for now Money in the Bank? Because remember when Charlotte did it, she was the only woman to go to NXT. All the
yep.
other women cashed in that night that won it. Alexa Bliss that
Mhm.
night, Bailey that night, Nikki ASH that night. Everybody cashes in that night except for Charlotte. She went to NXT with it. Then they start saying, "Oh, any world champion you want." So now at WrestleMania, is it for any title at your choosing?
Charlotte was the Royal Rumble winner.
Oh shoot, that's right. I'm sorry. Yeah,
yeah.
But yeah, most of the
She
women
chose-
do cash in
most of
except
the-
Carmella.
Right.
Yeah, she cashed in, but what hers is that was a whole different time of wrestling. But I'm just wondering, do we open the floodgates now? Because if we're gonna have the Roman Reigns problem where he's holding both belts, am I Cody Rhodes or Randy Orton or somebody that's going to get that briefcase that's able to dethrone Roman, or whoever's going to be that person? Because let's say next year this time, Cody's the champion of either Raw or SmackDown, either one. It's okay for Theory to have the briefcase now because now he has a formidable opponent. Randy Orton's a champion. Drew McIntyre's a champion. It's fine for him to have that briefcase at that time. It was just bad timing for him.
No, and I think at the end of the day, that's what it was. We kind of saw the writing on the wall at the end of the day, and
Facts.
like I said, we talked about it, but for Austin Theory, it looked like the ultimate reset button. He's talented enough where he doesn't need the world title right now. He doesn't need the Money in the Bank briefcase, the contract. And I think him losing the contract and the failed cash and kind of plays into his character a little bit, kind of the young punk. And because that's kind of, to me, that's what he's the young piece. He was, he was thrust into the spotlight. He was thrust into the space where, I don't want to say a spot was kind of given to him, but McMahon saw the future, and McMahon's impatient. He kind of wants the future to be now. We saw it with Roman. And when you look at it long term, it's like, well, maybe Vince made the right decision. He was kind of pushing for this person, and it kind of paid off. Look at him now, But I think Austin Theory is talented enough where he doesn't need a top title type push to put him where he needs to be. And
I think he dropped the U.S. belt too soon.
Yeah, probably that too. They were trying to build Lashley. Like, he's a victim of a lot of undoing, right? Like, okay, shoot, Vince is out. We got to fix Bobby. Like, let's reestablish the United States, the mid-card titles as like the top titles for like weekly television, because that's what it turned into, right? Whoever was your top mid-card guy was your weekly television champion, which I love because it made those guys look like big deals. I'm a fan of situations where your mid-card champions are the ones that's main eventing your shows because they're being treated as just as big of a deal as if your world title was there. And I think that's what it's supposed to be to a degree, One of the best examples of it, like I said, was freaking Jay Lethal carrying the Ring of Honor television championship while Jay Briscoe was the world champion. And he was like, I'm the real world champion. This is what makes me the top guy in this company. And I'm like, man, that's what makes that title seem that much more important. It's because it's not being treated as I'm second tier. Like, it's like, nah, I have this. Macho was the same way. I'm Intercontinental champion. That means I'm the top guy in this company because this what makes me, you know what I mean? Like, and I think when guys treat their titles with that attitude, Booker T used to do the same thing with the television championship. Booker T used to carry that television championship in WCW like it was a world title. Beefing with Finley and Chris Benoit and Disco Inferno and all those dudes. Like, he treated that title like it was like the world title, but that's what you need when it comes to, not the title making the superstar, but the superstar making the title. But Austin Theory is going to be fine. He has a bright future ahead of him. It's only going to play in who he is. It's only going to play into his character. And I'm excited for the future in regards to what Austin Theory is going to bring to the table, the next step in his evolution as a character. But yeah, it's the ultimate. Like I said, I'll say it again for 1,000 times. It's the ultimate reset button. They gotta They're trying to start fresh, and this is one of the last remnants of the McMahon regime and how they used to do things.
He got his first name back, so he's already looking up.
Of course, like you're already in a positive space because it's no longer I will never. I don't want to be named Austin after Stone Cold Steve Austin, whatever that promo he cut after.
Theory. You're what? Wait a minute, what? And we really call like Riddle Theory.
Exactly. It's just like, dude, I get like Neville
Andrade.
or like Cesaro, but yeah, but
Andrade.
I like Andrade
Rusev.
seeing almost Rusev.
Exactly. It was cool.
Yeah, it was but we're still seeing a lot of changes. I think it's a lot of changes still to come. A lot of probably returning faces, returning gimmicks, returning things. But as we talked about it before, brothers, wrestling is in good hands with Papa H, as they call him.
I done heard Papa H, I done heard Uncle H, I done heard all types of names,
all the above. But ladies and gentlemen,
he's still the game.
He's still the game. He's always going to be the game.
Hey, look what he did. He's knocking on that forbidden door. He's like, no, hold on, wrestling fans, I got you.
He's definitely not going to put it.
I'm gonna slide your little tidbit now. I'm gonna sprinkle. What you say? The dust? He said, "Don't worry. I'm gonna show you how to do a real forbidden door. Watch what I do. It's gonna be we're gonna look up next year and we're like, dang,
bro. I know one thing.
Do you remember the McMahon era?
If Jay White shows up at the Royal Rumble, I'm gonna flip my wig. That's all I'm gonna say.
And you know what I was watching today? Him and Will Ospreay when they had that match at ROH. And Jay White with the shorts, not the pants. That was the shorts.
This is before he had a gimmick. He was just regular Jay White. He was a young boy in New Japan, young boy before he got his gimmick.
Royal Rumble, man, it's gonna be lit.
Oh yeah,
you think Jay White gonna show up?
I don't know, but listen, all I know is they have some type of working relationship with New Japan Pro Wrestling because they're mentioning them. They acknowledge, first of all, they acknowledge Carl Anderson as Machine Gun Carl Anderson and Big LG as Doc Gallows. I'm like, dude, it's Michael Cole is showing off now that Vince is not here.
He is. Michael Cole said, I could have been to this whole thing.
Bro, and Michael Cole's having fun again. Like he's like the Machine Gun. I'm like, he called him the Machine Gun. And then they acknowledge him as the never open weight champion. The title that you just hung over your shoulder not too long ago, maybe 15 minutes ago. I was like, dude, this is what we're doing now. And then you have freaking Shinsuke facing off in Pro Wrestling Noah against the Great Muta as he goes in his retirement run.
Bro,
I'm like,
dude, shows up in the Rumble. Do you know how crazy the crowd would be?
Man,
you would see people like this. Tony Khan would have 6 kittens.
Bro, something was up that time when I saw Justin Liger show up at NXT to wrestle with Tyler Breeze, and they still had the Ring of Honor partnership. I was like, and he had a T-shirt and everything. I'm like,
that was the first takeover Brooklyn, if I'm not mistaken.
I believe it was. And I was just like, dude, what are we doing here? But listen,
that match stands the test of time. You can watch that match 10 years from now and be like, why is this so good?
Of course.
Because that's what made me realize Tyler Breeze was that good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
that was the match that woke me up for him. I said, wow, I couldn't believe it. And I was like, that's what the hype of this guy is. Match right there.
I remember you were high on him after that match. I vividly remember you like, I wasn't paying this dude no mind, but I'm paying attention now.
Yeah.
But he showed you.
No, it's and that's sometimes it takes that, and that's what NXT did best at the end of the day. But ladies and gentlemen, you can follow us on all social media platforms at the Wrestling Realm 2W. Subscribe to our Patreon, Twitch, and YouTube channel at the Wrestling Realm. Brothers, we did it again. We had a lot of surprises.
Yeah.
We had a lot of we still
there it is.
Look,
there it is.
We got a new exclusive Wrestling Realm Championship unveiling.
Screen for that one.
Yeah, let me
give me the full screen
thing. Look at that. Bam. If you missed it earlier, ladies and gentlemen, this is a quick look at the Belt King himself, Brandon, the guy, his new Custom Wrestling Realm Championship, man. It's that thing's a beauty, man. I can't speak highly of it.
Look at the plates on that thing.
If you know Brother Brandon, which we do, is like, man, you see his inspiration in this is what Brandon was talking about as far as storytelling. But man, we definitely appreciate you joining us today.
I just had a vision. I'm gonna tell you all after we get off the air.
It's Raven. It's Raven. That's so Raven right now.
What if I get jaw belts made on red leather? I mean, with the red strap.
Oh boy, it's like Universal Championships. That's
right.
That's tough. Just
I'm gonna
rack
get
them up.
Red strap.
Ain't it casual wrestling fan? TCW just right. It's just so beautiful.
Nah, it's absolutely good.
I'm saying, Brian, when you see it in person, you're gonna be It's just
Woo!
I can't wait.
I'm trying to get it so it's not in the glare.
Nah, I
But
feel
that's-
you.
Nah, it looks fine, dude. Like it's that thing.
Like
That thing's the beauty.
Look, this thing, like I said, the this one right here, super over at the party. they was Ciendo. I don't know if she posted the pic, but yeah, she did. She posted the pic. And check out the realness.
So
Belt makes me make faces.
almost 3 months. 3 months. This is. Ooh, and remember, this was this.
I
the
think
one
you
was giving y'all a
woke Brother
preview
Hugh
of?
was like, wait a minute, you said red straps?
Yeah.
I think this one I kept giving y'all a preview of, right?
Yeah, just that piece right there, like literally that
That's
side
it.
plate, man. That's
That's
you wouldn't
it.
budge, man. But listen, for somebody that can keep a secret, brother, you did an excellent job. I can't, like I said, I can't
Oh, shoot,
continue
that's
to
not
thank
so
you
bad.
enough.
Oh shoot!
Facts.
I'm sorry, y'all. But Hugh,
Nah,
when you see the who said something about the eagle? Was it you or you said look
Hugh.
at the wingspan on that?
Yeah, that was brother Hugh.
It does
said,
go
bro.
from in there. Yep.
We just
I
did
didn't
a
know if
2-hour
you-
show and it didn't even feel like it.
Nah, but this is what happens when the brothers do what we do. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
We got started a little bit late, man. But you know, the people as they're kind of tapping out, man, they stuck with us. So we appreciate the fans and everyone that was in the chat that kind of stuck with us and just hanging out with us. I know it's late, but we definitely appreciate you guys. We appreciate. Oh, look at that thing. That's
One of Dwayne's favorite.
bro.
let me show the Dwayne item.
I didn't pay it any mind until Bobby Roode became champion. And I was like, you know what? I think I like this title now. Certain wrestlers make me like championship. I'll say this like right now, live breaking news. I think I want like the blue Universal Championship, and I was against it because I was such a red. Roman's like, this guy's got me feeling this blue championship now all of a sudden.
But you know who my side plates are? My blue one.
Who? Don't tell me. It's either got to be Jericho.
No.
Jericho.
See, no. So with the side plates, I'm gonna give you a hint. I try to get them to. It means something. Who won it? So like on my red Universal, Finn Balor's on it.
Sure.
So on my UK one,
It's
Pete
got to
Dunne's
be.
on it.
It's got to be Fiend. Is
Yep,
it Fiend?
it says
Yep, I knew it.
Hurt
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yep.
If you keep talking, I'll
He
grab
changed it. He changed it. I was at that Raw
Mhm.
when you know, the Mr. Rogers version of Bray Wyatt changed it.
Oh yeah.
Dylan, we already
changed the
addressed
blue.
that earlier.
Oh yeah, you missed it, Dylan. we tried
What'd
to
he say?
bait. He said
Oh,
get
that's
the
right.
get out the 24/7 time next. We tried to
Yeah,
bait
we-
Brother Brandon into it. Look at that. There it is. Look at that thing. Universal Champion. Now that's the WWE version.
Yeah,
Look at that.
Mhm.
but I just got the hurt and heel because I didn't want his face. His face creeps me out because
That-
that belt, the
No,
Fiend
yeah.
belt, is actually creepy.
He definitely has the Fiend Universal title representation or whatever it was. Taekwon
Mhm.
said, "Do you own the weird Jeff Hardy TNA title?"
No, I had one of those made for a good friend of mine, April. Her son had one made, and I held it. And I
Black-
still wasn't. I was like, no,
Black
I-
strap or purple strap?
purple.
Got
I
it.
didn't agree with it. I was like, ugh.
Nah, I hated that belt. It was ugly.
It
I was
just,
like, no.
it just
Jeff
was
Hardy.
weird. It's just, I think because the shape is just weird.
It was.
Mhm.
It was like his shape, like his face, like his caricature or whatever you call it. But
I feel like it was like a Japanese animation gone wrong.
yeah, it was.
And I
it
like Jeff
definitely
Hardy.
went wrong.
I'm a Jeff Hardy fan, but
I
it
love
was
Jeff
just like,
Hardy.
that was just- Yeah, go and get this blue one.
Listen to me. I'm itchy now. I'm like, man, I think I like Rome's got me looking at this title. some
But
type
you
of
know the
way.
deluxe one, it's a little darker blue. Like this is
Oh,
like
okay,
the first wave that
okay.
came out. The deluxe version has the darker blue strap on it.
Do they
and
have
of
that
course,
in the commemorative version?
Yes, they actually do. But by the time you pay for commemorative, wait
Might
for
as
this to be
well.
on sale and just buy this one because it
Mhm.
is
No.
pretty decent. It's just, yep,
Yeah,
it's actually everything about it just works for me.
no, it makes sense, man. That's why you're the belt king. That's why you're the belt
Facts.
king. But
Yeah, just wait for it to be on sale. Probably be like $250. You probably can get it for like two. Well, I paid $199 or $150 where you can get the version for the replica for probably. They usually put them on sale $250, $299,
Mhm.
but at least
Mo-
$250. I would say it's worth the $250.
Yeah, Mo Eaton gave me great advice a couple years ago. He said, "You have a price, you stick to it, and then you just wait for the belt to get to that price."
Mhm.
there you go.
Because that's what happened when I bought these. I didn't want them, but when they got to the right price,
Yeah,
Mhm.
that's when I
it
got
was
them.
like, yeah, you want to pass up a deal. Look at that. The belt king himself doing what he does best.
Yeah.
But ladies and gentlemen, we thank you for joining us tonight. Brothers, any last words before we kind of wrap up and get out of here, man? We had an excellent show as we had to address some things, man. And I think we did it. I think we covered this stuff. Dylan Matt said Australian WWE shop prices are insane. I can imagine. I can only imagine. But tonight's show, brothers. Any last words?
Nah, just great show. Make sure y'all stay tuned to Twitter and Instagram. Follow us everywhere.
We appreciate you guys for joining the conversation. Absolutely, brother Brandon.
Yeah, invitation. You just here. Where you belong.
Let me show off this monster of a championship.
Yeah, definitely. I can't wait to see what you're gonna do with that as far as how you display it, man. But we definitely thank you for filling in for Brother Hugh. Like I say, you're not really a guest at this point. You really haven't been. You're just kind of a reoccurring host of the show. So we definitely appreciate you joining us today, man. Shout out to you, Brother Hugh, also for joining us, brother. I know you was taking care of your business and enjoying stuff, man. But the fact that you even took time out to hang with your brothers tonight, man, I definitely appreciate that, man. Shout out to everybody.
Hopefully, y'all won't be jealous if y'all see y'all belts and red straps. Don't be jealous.
Hey, listen, I feel like they'll be immortalized, so I'll be happy.
Right.
I'm like, dude, yeah, you know, it's a Rebel out here somewhere, right? I'm not gonna tell you who's got it, but it's a Rebel out there somewhere.
And we can officially say this is episode 499.
That's right. We are one more episode to 500. Who knows what we have planned? But ladies and gentlemen, stay tuned, because until then, Brian H is elevating. Peace.
Houston, we have a problem.
Yes!